Hashtag Cancel Connor, episode 4. Cheers, my friend.
Daboja.
Yeah. Good to see that you're out in Berta, making things happen.
Yeah. Well, like I said, Sarah wanted to come and visit a friend and kind of put the idea in her head, so we figured, fuck, let's do this. Bought the motorhome for a reason, and it's I don't know, there's so many things to do around here, and kids love Callaway, and I mean they even wanted to do West Edmonton Park with what the hell is it? Galaxyland. That was okay. And I mean, Galaxyland, unlike that stupid water park, doesn't make the parents pay to be there and watch their kids. So it was kind of awesome. I had a work buddy come out, and he joined me with his 3 kids, and then all the kids ran around, and then the adults could just step out for a smoke, and then Kyla and Sarah went shopping, and
nice.
Yeah, and then we like ditched our kids with my work buddy, and Kyla and I hit up a pub.
That's sweet.
Yeah, we're like Parents Island.
Yeah. I need a vacation from my vacation.
Right. Well, and I mean, that's kind of how we do it. I mean, anything goes. There's not a whole lot of rules. I mean, don't be a dick. That's it.
Yeah, well, the thing is, you guys have, even when kids were smaller last time you guys were out here, I mean, they do the typical kid things, but I mean, they got their shit together. Like, you guys have done a good job. Like,
thanks.
I think they're pretty awesome. Well, they can take care of themselves.
Yeah.
For the most part, I mean.
Sarah's 15. She's driving already.
Oh, there you go.
She
right?
got her learners and drives us around town, getting the mail and liquor and smokes. And,
good practice.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, not only that, I mean, even when they need a bathroom, they know where a piss bowl is. So. Oh, I gotta say, that's probably one of the best goddamn things I've heard that year. Oh, of course, no phone's ringing. 2 seconds.
Yeah, man. Your public loves you.
Oh, yeah. Recent history.
Oh, which phone did I take with me?
I doubt this is important. I've been getting spam. Spam calls, basically. Like, this is a thing from Service Canada, blah, blah, blah. So, and it's like, well, I know this is fraudulent because I've answered these guys before. So I did the whole, alright, I'm just going to actually talk to this guy. Gave him a bogus name, bogus date of birth, bogus, I mean, chances of that I actually nailed somebody's real name, date, and social insurance number, whatever. But basically, as soon as I gave him the info, immediately cut the phone line off. Even though I was trying to give him shit about the whole, oh no, you can't, don't worry about this. It's like, well, no, if you have my number, you should have my information. Like, why are you looking for all this sort of stuff? And you can tell it's bullshit, like right from the start. But I mean, that's kind of the scamming thing. How's it going?
What's up, Patrick?
Can I pour myself a bowl of cheese balls?
Yeah, you can eat the cheese balls. Yeah, I got scammed recently. My Visa card all of a sudden started showing a bunch of Uber Eats out of Ontario. They got me for $50, and then another $50, and then $100, and then the bank texted me. They're like, something seems suspicious here. I'm like, goddamn right, that's suspicious.
Ontario, ugh.
Yeah, I travel west, not to the Middle East.
Yeah. Yeah, Toronto. Welcome to Canada as soon as they leave.
Yeah. So.
But yeah, that is kind of the nice thing too. You guys planning to go actually all the way to the coast then, or?
Not this time. Kyla only had a week off of work. I took 2 weeks off, but I actually started a new job. I moved out of client services, and now I am the video conference coordinator for the Prairie region.
Oh, so you do basically this kind of stuff, but
well,
way better setup.
Oh man, I could go on for hours of how my setup sucks. No, it's mostly end user support for using the video conference stuff now, but I mean with everybody using Zoom and Teams and WebEx, and then our video conference infrastructure, we gotta like get everybody connected, and it's mostly video court, lot of court. That's my my top, I guess, item that I deal with daily, because that's pretty high priority.
Yeah.
And I mean, there's an awful lot of people going to court. Lots and lots and lots. I bet
it's nonstop.
10 a day, every day of the week. There's video court, and it's all across the country.
Yeah, well, probably because of the whole world shutting down thing, it's been stepped up and far more necessary because the law still needs to happen.
Well, yeah, and it doesn't matter, like, wherever those offenders broke the law, they've got to appear in that jurisdiction. So just because you're in Alberta and you broke the law in Newfoundland means you got to appear in a Newfoundland court, and shipping them around the country was just expensive, and security wise it just wasn't a good idea. It's not in the public interest, that's for sure. So
yeah, no kidding. Well, try to make it as cost effective as possible to a degree, I guess, is part of it, but
well, I think a lot of it had to do with security. I mean, it's just not wise to put an inmate on a plane. There's a lot of risk. I mean, usually it's pretty okay, but I mean, those one-offs are what hit the Globe and Mail. And
yeah.
It's way better just to avoid it.
Well, yeah, and that'd be the other part, because you need some sort of sky marshal, cop, whatever to go with them, and that's its own expense to...
Yeah, correctional officers or sheriffs.
Yeah, bring somebody along then too. Like, yeah, that's,
oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's a big goddamn expense then, is where, yeah, click and do your thing, and it's like, cool, I can judge it up and, you know, just sit in my bathrobe in my office at home sort of thing, you know. Guys that are doing the judge part of it too, like even the lawyers and stuff, like nobody's wearing pants. Got my jacket on, I got my tie, what else do you need?
Yeah, right. Usually a bourbon off camera.
Yeah. World's best dad. Yeah, and it's fucking... Well,
I set up my home office in my garage. It's awesome. It's beer fridge adjacent. I've got an ashtray in there, and it's the one room the kids aren't making noise.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, it's pretty well soundproofed in there. So
yeah, and it's good. I step out in the morning, I fire up my computers and do my thing. Ever since I started, I've been back to the office like 1 or 2 days in the last 3 months. And
oh, nice.
yeah, so I think it'll lead to a full-time gig. It's mine if I want it. The guy that I'm replacing is on, it's called pre-retirement. Basically, he reduces his shift down to 60%, and then we get like 2 years of coverage and cross-training and stuff like that, so it's pretty slick, because I banked a lot of holidays over the pandemic. I didn't take any. So I've got to burn at least 4 weeks of holidays before March 31st, or I get paid out, and I've got 7 weeks banked on top of that.
Like, nice.
Oh, it was sort of. It'd be nice if I could use them, but nobody does my job when I'm away. Well, somebody's doing it now, I think. I don't know.
Yeah, well, I guess most things, though, too, that you're keeping shit kind of mobile and digitized, like, for everybody else or anything like that, but you still have to go to the office somewhat nowadays, or can you actually do pretty much everything from home?
Well, when I was working in client services, I went in about once a week. Just I had to ship equipment, or there's always stuff to do in the office, like dink around with the servers or fix this and whatnot. But this new job, the only reason I really have to go in is if I got to set up some sort of new hardware or ship equipment. And for the most part, now that I'm working at a headquarters, somebody else just ships it for me if I ask nicely. Because there's usually somebody there, and I'm like, hey, could you do me a solid? And then I don't have to go in, but I try to reciprocate. And sometimes we gotta go on site to other buildings that are getting set up and just be the hands on the ground. So we're all working together, because I mean, people are remote all over, but they're supporting sites in every city across the country. So if somebody is local to Saskatoon or Prince Albert or Edmonton or Calgary, then usually we'll help somebody out and do what we got to do.
Well, that's kind of awesome.
Yeah.
Now, imagine though too, because I mean, goddamn, there's so much digital work in the whole non-essential things like stay at home. And say, well, how many of us can actually do this job from home and not ever have to go back in? Well, there's incentive. We'll give you a raise if you can come in. It's like, that's still not enough to cover the difference. why would I bother? I think if I can do it from home.
Yeah, well, I don't know. Sometimes I'm more productive in the office, but
Yeah.
Can I also have cheese balls?
yeah, cheese ball away, buddy. Yeah, I don't know. It's 6 of one, half dozen of the other. I like the option though.
Yeah.
I mean, Kyla still goes into work every day, so if I want to go in, there's no commuting cost for me. I just go in for the day. And I might do so more in the winter than I do in the summer, but we'll see. It's pretty nice. My lunches have become far more fantastic with my whole kitchen there instead of either a mini fridge in the office and a microwave or a lunchroom.
Yeah, I can see that.
Right?
Well, the other part of it too is just seeing change. Because that's what I always liked about leaving site, like doing construction. It's like, if I have a half an hour, I'm getting off a site just so I'm not sitting here the entire time. So yeah, like getting into the not having to be at the office all the time. And same thing. It's like I had to go buy new pajamas just so I don't wear these ones out.
Honestly, I mean, I thought I was an introvert till I realized how much I miss the people in the office. I don't miss the Safeway cakes or birthdays, but just shooting the shit with people about their kids, their lives, or something pretty to look at. I mean, I kind of miss it.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that was probably one of the most obvious parts of everybody being afraid of each other, masking up. It's like I kind of feel like I'm forced into exile, even though I'm around people all the time. That's kind of, I mean, I've been lucky. I was able to work pretty much the whole time, but yeah, it's I don't know. Glad it's over.
Yeah,
for the most part, right? So,
I hope so. We'll see.
Yeah.
I have my suspicions. I mean, you look at California and a lot of the others, some of the other states. I mean, there's going back to masking regulations and whatnot, but we'll see what happens. I mean,
yeah.
I don't know. I got vaccinated, so I feel relatively safe. The whole family did. It's just poor Patrick. He's like, can we sneak me in somehow? I'm like, you're not 12, buddy. You can't have no shot.
It's not necessary. Kids wouldn't get in it anyways.
No, I don't know. No, not much. I mean, there was the boys, like during the whole pandemic, Rosser never closed the schools. The boys
That sounds like Rosser.
The boys went to school every single day. There was online learning option for those that wanted to, but the schools remained open. And for the most part, there was no trouble. Patrick's school never, like his classroom, never closed down for close contact or none of that. Caleb got quarantined 3 times because somebody in his class knew somebody that had COVID, basically. Like, nobody in the class had it that I'm aware of. But Sarah's class never shut down completely, although she's going to school in the city now, and Caleb too. Patrick's the only one left in town.
Oh, that's kind of cool, though.
Yeah. Well, Sarah started it because she wanted to do French immersion classes, and then there was just so many more options in the city, and she started with that Cancelconor program. I don't know if we ever told you about that. It was kind of like this alternative education for grade 8. They got rid of the desks. They just had like couches and stuff in the classroom, and they would focus on one subject for a couple of weeks, and they'd get a big project that they had to do. And if you failed the project, you did it again, and did it again, and did it again, and did it again until you did satisfactory. There was no, you fail and move on. You fucking do it again until you pass.
Like real life.
Yeah, right. I mean, there is no try. There's only do or do not.
Yeah.
I don't do a good Yoda, so use your imagination.
Yeah. Well, school should be more like the idea of what it is that you're going to do for a job, or the whole setup for what it is that's going to be out there. I mean, yeah, you're not doing 15 different things at a time. Like, nobody's good at multitasking. Like, why do we continually do
I don't know. I can change videos and rub one out at the same time.
Yeah, what's good at the one thing you're scrolling and shit.
What do you mean page 58? Come on. This is a pretty specific kink.
Got lube on the screen now? God damn it. That's what happens when I try to treat myself.
But ow!
Yeah, cripes.
But yeah, that whole school program, they, what the hell else? Oh, like one of her first assignments was to come up with a grocery list or like a meal plan for an entire weekend, and then they took the kids shopping, and they had to go into the grocery store, they went shopping for the food, and then they brought it all up, and the teacher checked it out, made sure it wasn't just pop and chips for the weekend, and then they bought the food, and then they went camping for 5 days off-grid at some sort of like Boy Scout camp or whatever, and they had to live on the meal plan that they prepared.
Nice.
Yeah, they got a bus pass and a bicycle, and then the teachers would just text them in the morning. It's like, okay, we're going to learn at the university today, so meet us in this classroom here. And then the kids were on their own to figure out the city buses and get there on time, and everybody meet up, like we're going to the library, we're going to the university, school's here today. And just a ton of outdoor ed and alternative education. They took them to science centers overnight and let them like camp out in the science center. And I think Sarah slept in a giant ear or something like that.
Nice.
Yeah, it was awesome. And I mean, it's grade 8, so it doesn't really matter. But it taught her a whole bunch of life skills and life lessons. It's called Nakonaton, Let's Lead. And it just gave her a bunch of leadership skills, and it was fantastic. And now Caleb applied, and then they said, oh, sorry, you're on the wait list. We got to give priority to kids that were already in the city. And then they contacted him and said, hey, buddy, you're in. We had an opening. So Caleb's going to do that same program now, and just Patrick's left in town.
Oh, shit, that's awesome, though.
Yeah.
That sounds like way more interesting. Like, I kind of want to go back to high school if that's what it was. I mean,
well, I think
actually teaching you life skills, not reading, writing, arithmetic, which is still kind of part of it, but you kind of know that shit by the time you're in, like, some of it. I mean, you know your basics. Like, how often are you going to use advanced algebra, or
well,
you know the difference of like a triambit pentameter or whatever the fuck it was from
music
poetry,
class or poetry.
Either way, like.
I can't believe you remembered that word. I can remember onomatopoeia.
Yeah. Yeah, there's so much of that stuff where, I mean, if you paint everybody with the same brush, then it's like, well, hopefully this is the basics that everybody gets, then we can all push them out into the world and they can figure out their own shit. But, you know, I was talking about that with a friend not too long ago about the idea of, like, we're not ever really taught how to do our taxes properly, or conflict resolution, or, you know, like, you're full of hormones and everything's changing for you, but it's like, this is a temporary time. Let's all work together to understand this, not all your book reports do.
Yeah, well, I mean, fair enough, but at the same time, I think a lot of it, like, we supplement a lot at home too, because we notice the schools, they never taught handwriting or even creative writing anymore. Caleb got 1 week of handwriting, and that was it. It's all printing. And it's like, nah, they got tablets and computers. So now, when the kids like fuck up and then we got to punish them, we make them write an essay. They got to do a good copy. They got to do a rough copy, a good copy, and then handwrite it.
Nice.
Right? And they fucking hate it.
How do you make an R again?
Yeah. Google that shit.
Oh, the irony.
Yeah, right. But it's, yeah, I don't know. It seems moderately effective.
Well, it's usually just for 1 year that they do this for them. It's not like a full-on high school sort of setup. Or...
This is just grade 8, and then they go into 9, 10, 11, 12. They've got regular high school. But I mean, the world doesn't matter. You're grade 1 through 8, even 9, really. Not in North America, anyhow, do they pay attention to any of that.
No, they pass you with your peers and stuff for the most part, and then it's a little bit more specific into the STEM stuff when you're 10, 11, 12, but same thing, like how many people actually go into any of the STEM schooling or jobs after sort of thing too, right? So
yeah, well, and that's another thing. Like with the kids, we tried to expose them to anything and everything, from whitewater rafting and snowboarding to sciences and maths and whatnot. 4 years ago, we came out to Alberta, and I was working at the time, so I was living in the campsite for the week I was working out of the Edmonton office, and we didn't know if Kyla was going to be able to come with, so we're like, well, we need a babysitter. So we put him in day camp at the YMCA. I brought him with me to work, dropped him off at camp downtown. I went to the office, and...
Shit, that's clever.
Right? And Patrick took cooking camp when he was 6. Caleb took clown camp and he was 8. And Sarah took... She fucking hated her camp, so I don't know what she took, but she was miserable for a week. Yeah. She's like, can I stay at the campsite? It's like, absolutely not. You chose fruit, you live with fruit. That's another thing. We never let the kids back out. You committed to something, you go for it to full length. You wanted to do karate, you do karate. And they do, actually. They love karate. They're in Taekwondo now, though, because our karate teacher left. But same thing with dance or any of that stuff.
Well, it's paid for. You're doing it.
Well, no, you committed to it. It's not even the money. You make a commitment, you do it.
Yeah.
You want to play soccer, you play soccer when it sucks and when it's fun.
Yeah.
You want to play hockey, too fucking bad, because that's too much commitment on my part.
Yeah, that's a bit of a buggy, that one. But, I mean, that's a great life skill. It's a great teachable moment. It's like, yeah, life isn't always going to be peaches and roses. Like, I have to cook for you guys every day. You know how frustrating that is? Like, do you need to eat every day?
And I mean, they're independent and they'll cook for themselves, but then there's honey all over everything. Having kids is an ongoing game of why the hell is this sticky?
It's even on the toilet paper roll. Come on.
Who hid juice in the furnace vent? Who pissed in this bowl?
Yeah. Open up your sock drawer. Piss drawer? I'm not even mad. I'm impressed that it stayed in there.
You're lucky you missed my weed.
Yeah. But yeah, another one of those touchy topics, I guess, too, like while we're going for the schooling and shit like that. Like, there's a whole... I don't know. I guess it's kind of, the more I think about it, it's kind of just the youth rebelling against parents and stuff like that. But, you know, when we were in school, it was more the music we listened to, the skater clothes we dressed in, or whatever sort of shit. Now it's like what gender you are. And that's what they're kind of rebelling against older people on. And I don't know if that's actually something that sticks too big in everybody's minds in small town Saskatchewan, or if that's something else. Oh, Kyla.
Yeah. Sorry, you gotta take this one.
No, do your thing, man.
Yellow. 74. 7-4. Yeah, you might have to, if they're gonna stay, they gotta park probably outside the park. I moved the Viterra and Connor's got our parking spot. Okay, but yeah, 74. Okay, bye-bye.
Other folks joining?
Kyla went out with her friends. One of the ladies she worked with moved to Canada and didn't know anybody in Saskatoon, and then her husband took a job in Calgary, and she's like absolutely knows nobody. So her and Kyla got to be really good friends at work, and then when Kyla said we're coming out to Alberta, she's like, oh super, let's do something Canadian. So she took her to a pub.
Nice.
Yeah.
It's Wednesday, it'd be a wing night.
Right?
There you go.
So, yeah, Kyla's coming back. I don't know if they're going to stay or not, but I grabbed extra chairs, so
Sweet.
cameras might scare them off. We'll have to see.
Yeah, I mean, whatever.
But, back to your previous question there about gender and the kids. Doesn't matter to me. Whatever makes somebody happy, I guess, is...
Yeah.
Although I'm highly inappropriate, I still got those 80 jokes, and I don't know. I really have to curb myself. I've been pretty good not saying retarded. I quit that long time ago.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I find racism funny, and nobody else does.
Well, yeah, but I think too many people think that we're serious about it when we say that kind of shit.
Well, and that's the thing. Like, Kyla kind of tuned me in too. She's like, it's not that you're saying it with malice, it's the hate that goes along with it that other people associate. And I'm like, wow, you're totally right. Because I hate inciting hate. I'm not a big fan of violence and really despise hate. I just think it's funny sometimes. And
yeah. Tell me one stereotype that isn't true. But I mean, that's kind of the difference, I guess, most of the time, because you know when you're hanging out with buddies and stuff like that, you can joke around and say that kind of stuff. But yeah, and most of the time in any larger group, whether it's professional or not even, it's like, I gotta mind my P's and Q's here.
yeah, no more N-bombs.
No, I was just singing along with Cypress Hill. Those guys aren't black.
Right. I've been saying in the brain.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of a interesting thing, because I mean, it's one of those things that's kind of like a hot button topic, but at the same time, like, on your day-to-day life, how much does this actually affect most of us?
I suppose pronouns at work.
Yeah, now that it's law, but even then.
Yeah, well, I don't know. Like I said, I mean, whatever makes somebody happy, I try not to offend them, and it really doesn't bother me. If I gotta switch to they, them, their, or z, zim, zer, whatever,
Yeah.
I still go with him, her, or whatever, and if it's not right, I have no problem being corrected. And
The funny thing that I remember when it first started is when Cole and I were watching Beast with a Billion Backs, the Futurama movie, and Evo shows up. You can refer to me as Schlee or Schlur. And we had a chuckle about it. Cole's like, people are actually doing this though. I'm like, what? It's like, yeah, this is a new like gendering thing. Like, are you serious? He's like, yeah, I think they go like Z or Zer, but there's people that are saying things differently now and like arguing with biology. Like, oh, well, that's interesting. I kind of want to learn more about that.
when I did the census, I yelled down to Sarah, I'm like, what gender do you want me to put on this? Do you get to pick and choose? I mean, you seem to have an opinion. Opinionate. Whatever floats your boat.
Yeah.
But she didn't care. Or she played off that she didn't care. You know,
So
teenagers.
blase.
Right.
Yeah. Well, that's why I made that comment earlier, because one of the guys I was working with, it's like I identify as an attack helicopter.
If I ever go to court, I'm identifying as innocent.
Yeah. Put a bow in my hair and everything. Look how cute and innocent I am.
Your Honor, I cannot be prosecuted for this crime. I self-identify as innocent.
Yeah.
That didn't work when I got a cell phone ticket.
Oh,
Distracted driving.
It took me a second. It's like, cell phone ticket, what?
Yeah, well, it had just come into effect, and I was trying to follow the rules, and I thought I had it on speakerphone, and I held it up so I could talk, and they're like, no, absolutely not, you can't touch your phone. And I'm like, dude, I gotta take a mulligan on this one. I really thought I was within the law. And he's like, no. And I'm like, well, I'm gonna go to court. He's like, best of luck, buddy. And I did, and the judge is like, no, absolutely not. If you touched your phone, you're guilty. $200 and time served. He was like Judge Harry Stone.
That's that, eh?
Yeah, night court.
That's what the, oh, yeah.
I got a thing for 80s TV, so.
That's an old one, holy shit.
Yeah.
John Leonard Kent was a young man.
They were all young,
Yeah.
except for Selma. She was ancient. She was the old bailiff in the first episode. She passed away during
Oh,
filming.
okay, yeah, because they had the black lady that was doing it.
Yeah, Roz.
Roz, that's her name.
You know what's fucked? I only watched 1 or 2 of those episodes when I grabbed them off the internet like 3 years ago, and I still remember the whole cast of characters.
Well, yeah, it's one of those things that hits like the back deep memory sort of thing like that. It's like, I remember watching this like it was last week.
Yep. I remember watching them on a black and white TV on rabbit ears in frickin' Saskatchewan in my mom's basement.
Yeah, that sounds right.
Right? Come on, CBC. It's either the French lesbians or Night Court.
Yeah, and I need to give my dick a break today, so. Not because I want to, because I probably should.
Yeah, that poof of dust scared me.
Shit.
Yeah.
Oh, hello. Hola.
Yeah, Sarah went out babysitting. My sister came to town with her family too, and they're like, "Hey, we're in Calgary." It's like, "So are we?"
Small world.
Right? So we're like, "What do you want to do? Let's do the zoo." So we did the zoo. What's that? Will do. You bet. Want to be a YouTube star? No. Okay, we're doing a podcast if you want to join.
When do you do podcasts?
Right now?
Right now. See, it's laptop, microphones, cameras.
You might even want to weigh in on this. Some of the topics are today's youth and thoughts on gender.
Gender identity, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
My dad's doing a podcast on gender identity.
Well, not specifically. Like, we talked about you guys being, rugrats and shit kickers and whatever sort of thing. So
We're just, we're mostly just shooting the breeze.
yeah.
And
The only difference, honestly, than what we usually do is that it's being recorded. Pretty much exactly the same conversation.
which is scary. Yeah.
Yeah. Which you don't have to join it.
Yeah.
Here's a fun.
I can't remember a time Connor and I didn't have fun.
Yeah. Agreed, man. Yeah, it's always good to make the trip out. Well, the funny thing is I'm going home visit because Mom's putting together whatever barbecue reunion this weekend, so
Oh, nice.
I want to come see you guys, but I guess you're here, so
Well, we'll be home Monday, and then I've got a whole week off, so.
yeah, I'm in no rush. I'm kind of between jobs right now.
Oh, yeah.
Which as construction, I can say that and not worry about shit. So, but I was gonna go to Medicine Hat next week sometime, help my buddy do massive house rental there. So it's like, yeah, I could take a week or so off, middle of summer. Why not?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, if it wasn't for the smoke, I mean, it'd be pretty nice. Smoke doesn't bother me.
Yeah. Well, it's like driving to Hegel all the time. It's like after a while you just get used to the smell.
That still lingers, and it's in Warman now. It's kind of funny. I joined a Facebook group called the Warman Speakeasy, and the bitching and moaning on that fucking page every spring when the stink comes out. People are like, "Oh my God!" They bought their house in winter, thinking they lived in a city, but no, they're in a small town.
Yeah, and there's nothing there still. There's lots of houses. A golf course.
Yeah, well, Martinsville got bigger. Like, it's got a lot of stuff. It's got, like, big city things and whatnot.
Yeah.
Chain restaurants and...
Martinsville is like the hip town outside of Saskatoon, though.
Yeah, Martinsville is way better than Norman, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Norman people can't drive either. They come out on the highway like screaming eagles, and they're all over the damn place. Angry with the world because they've got big trucks and small things.
But the sausage from there is so good.
What you want to... Whatever your sexual preference is, dude. I'm not here to judge.
I love their sausages. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Not much else. I guess, yeah, the high school or
Give
whatever.
it in.
The high school, whatever sort of thing now is the new building, not the old shitbox that we went to now.
Yeah, they built a real nice school in town.
2 stories?
Yeah.
Get the fuck out of here.
2 gyms, home ec lab. I don't know, they never did tours because COVID, so I haven't actually seen the interior. I've only seen the exterior, but it's got like daycare, it's got just all, well, 13 grades including kindergarten. The kids say it's pretty nice. All the bathrooms are gender neutral. They're just shitters and closets with sinks outside, so...
Isn't that where everybody starts learning how to, like, take their perk pills, those caffeine pills, and crush them up and do them off the dispenser for toilet paper.
Nah, Rawson's never been that cool. You learn that stuff in the city, and it's usually cocaine.
Yeah.
Interesting fact. One of the bars told me the ones in Saskatoon said they put WD-40 on the top of the toilet tanks because if you cut up lines on there, it just dissolves.
Oh, clever.
Right? Tricks of the trade.
That shit's hilarious.
Yeah, I don't know if it's for reals. I mean, I don't do drugs. There's been a few changes in town. Built a co-op and a Dairy Queen.
Wow.
Everything seems to be moving now onto the highway. Downtown is dead. There's like almost nothing. Although they renovated Wendy's.
Convenience store.
Well, no, the old arcade.
Arcade.
It's been Mrs. Mac's sewing shop forever, but they finally tore down the sign that said Wendy's Arcade after 15 years of not being an arcade.
That's awesome.
Yeah, they fixed the broken window, so that's the extent of renovations, I think.
Wait, hold on. What happened to all the arcades then?
There's nothing. Everybody just... Oh, no, the old bowling alley. Some dude bought it, and he converted the back, because the pool tables were all gone ages ago.
Yeah.
Just a bowling alley. But now they sell liquor there, and anything you can make in a perfect fry, and they've got virtual golf. So,
cool.
Yeah, Tommy's come to town a few times when he's not in BC, and then Balls and Scotty and Robbie and I go over there, and I watch them hit balls, and I drink cheap beer in the bowling alley, because fuck golf.
Even digitally, you're trying, but it's just not working for me.
I mean, normally I go to drive the cart or ride in the cart, but if I can just sit on a couch and make my witty banter, I'm fucking in.
Yeah. That's kind of awesome.
Right? I hacked into the Chromecast on their TV and started putting Simpsons on there.
Yeah, as much as hacking as it takes to get into a Chromecast.
Yeah. Well, right. I think I added my Plex server to his Roku box or something.
Oh, nice.
I'm like, there you go.
Rick and Morty, here we go.
Yeah. Yeah, we were watching, Death Clock. What the hell was their show called?
Metalocalypse.
Metalocalypse. There you go. All I can think is Nathan Explosion going, do anything for Death Clock. Do anything for Death Clock.
Yeah, that fucking show.
Yeah.
Yeah, I kind of wondered about that too, with the industry starting to move north and stuff like that. I mean, there's always the threat of roster and turning into like a middle way hub sort of thing like that. It's like, let's give it another 20 or so years. We'll see what Saskatchewan actually turns into. But.
Yeah, well, it's a bedroom community now for sure. Like, there's a lot of people that commute to the city, and especially both ways. If you get one person working in PA, one in Saskatoon, it's a great place to just land.
Yeah.
And I mean, as far as crappy little towns go, it's one of the best out there. It's got new swimming pool, got the hospital, got a good rink and curling rink and dance studio and soccer, ball, hockey, all pretty popular. Taekwondo and stuff for the kids.
Yeah. Well, like you're saying too, even chain restaurants and shit like that are actually willing to invest money. It's not just some mom and pop version of something like that too. So that's at least something of an indicator of growth. So.
Yeah, well, yeah.
I mean, DQ is good, but it's summer right now, so.
Well, and I mean, they've got their ice cream and their flurries and stuff like that, but the Little Bean ice cream that's downtown blows them out of the water.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. People still people go to Dairy Queen because they recognize it and it's right there on the highway. But I guarantee you, everybody in town knows about Little Bean, and they go there. They'll choose that 99% of the time because it's it's good. I've heard. I don't eat ice cream.
Because they don't want a single scoop for $10 at Dairy Queen.
Well, I mean, Little Bean, I don't know if the prices are a whole lot better, but the quality is definitely there.
Yeah.
Even Scott Moe, the premier of Saskatchewan, stopped in and then took a picture with the girls. Kelly Clausen, you remember her?
Clausen sounds familiar. I don't know.
She would have been in the grade below me. She's married to another guy. What you know?
Kelly Clausen.
Oh no, that's her married name.
I was gonna say, yeah, like
Kelly.
Kelly Lehman.
Nope. I don't know, maybe. Yeah, Ricky Lehman's daughter.
Yeah, she had blonde hair.
Yeah.
I don't know if she still does, but
Yeah, Kelly Lehman.
I gave her nosebleed in like grade 3.
Awesome. Yeah, they. What the hell? Jess Yablonsky, I think, started it about 5 years ago, and then they moved to Depressed Van or something, and Kelly bought it for her kids.
Nailed it! Oh shit.
Yeah. And then they took over like 5 years ago, and they just keep expanding. They do like ice cream cakes and stuff, and people in town rave about it. It's really good. But I mean, it's small town. It's in tune with what the people want. It's not necessarily what's easy to make or the most profitable, like a chain restaurant would concentrate on. It's
a bit of a tourist trap, though, so it actually brings people in.
Yeah. The only real downside that they have is they're right downtown. See, it's word of mouth to bring people up off the highway. But when my dad had the Petrocan there, there was people from all over Saskatchewan that would stop in for ice cream because they freaking loved it, because he used real cream in his machines, not just ice milk or ice water.
Yeah, that makes a big difference.
Right?
Well, the other part too is that I remember my grandma was saying that they had petitioned to have Main Street extended all the way to the 11 highway for years to get that road built, and then they turned it into a fucking cutoff again so that it's all directed back towards the 312 or
the service road.
Yeah, the service road out by the cemetery.
Yeah.
So it's like, that's kind of the other killer of downtown, is that it's not easy access anymore.
No, and
Saskatoon.
Yep, that'd be Kyla, I think, and her friends.
And her singular friend.
Nah, she's a lot more social than me.
Hey, dude!
Hey,
Howdy.
Colin, this is Dee.
Hi, nice to meet you.
Connor, Sarah. Hi, guys.
Hello!
Yeah, well, Main Street's definitely dying. But it's, there's a huge mentality, too, of people that they think there's more value in the city. And I would 100% disagree with that. Like, there's so many people that figure it's cheaper to go to Walmart, and maybe one or two of the prices are, but when you factor in driving there and parking and all the rest, like, oh, no fucking way. It doesn't matter if you save 10 cents on a loaf of bread or a buck on a dish soap. I get rockstar parking no matter what store I'm going to in Rosser, and I'm like right there, and life is good. You're on camera.
That's alright, I got one already.
You're almost on camera.
Yeah.
You're beside camera right now.
The ones in the door are cold, the rest of them are not.
Do I have any Big Rock?
There's one in the door. It's cold.
But I want to try it.
Oh, well, then you should have loaded the beer fridge.
Would you like to join in the podcast?
Fuck no.
Well, then
Cool.
step out of the
You're
camera.
my
You're
friend
like,
right now.
your ass is on camera.
Oh, really?
So there's one right there that's pointed at me. There's one right there pointed at Colin. And we got our microphones.
Yeah.
Why?
Because this is what we're doing tonight.
Yeah. We're going to sit around and talk anyway, so I might as well just record it. Everybody can know how shitty Rostern is. Already know.
We're in Calgary, hun.
I know.
Yeah,
That's
but
why we're shit talking Rostern.
yeah, we're gonna shoot the breeze about hometowns.
Yeah. Like the bakery. What a pile of garbage that is.
She gone.
Yeah, long gone probably. Eh?
Yeah, they auctioned everything off this summer. After Ted left, Doug took over. After Doug had it, it sold to one or two other people, and it just steady decline. Apparently, Scott's dad They go, like, the Mennonites in town love their coffee every morning. You know the coffee crowd.
Oh yeah.
Well, they would go to the bakery, and then they weren't making coffee. So they started bringing their own.
Jeez.
So now they're going to the gas station across the highway, the Gas Plus. But frickin' Scott's dad still brings his own coffee every morning. Brings a thermos of coffee, sits in there. And I'm like, that's the epitome of cheap, dude.
Yeah, that's pretty fantastic.
Right? I mean, no wonder the bakery closed. I mean, you're just going to go sit there and not buy anything.
I mean, the bakery didn't give them coffee in the first place.
Well, now that was the story we've heard.
There.
Yeah, well, that was the whole thing when Nouvelle was still open. I mean, during the day it was for everybody that was like 50 and older, and then afternoon and evening was basically for all the kids.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody's sitting there, you know. I mean, similar thing. It's not like any of us spent a bunch of money, but there was a couple hundred people showing up there every day spending a couple of bucks. Like, did well.
Well, when Peckerhead tried to open that restaurant there, reopen Nouvelle basically,
Yeah.
I tried to convince him to just, I'm like, you should open at 11 o'clock and get a liquor license and do burgers and beer. And 8 to 7, and then you cook burgers, you serve beer, like that's it. Keep it simple, something that you can do just on your own, no staff. And then if you're going to get there at 8 in the morning to like clean the place and open up, make a pot of coffee, serve it to the coffee crew. Don't put anything else out there unless it's like I don't know, pre-made donuts or anything you don't have to cook. You can just serve pie or whatever.
Yeah.
And
That'd have been a gold mine.
right? You should have let me manage that restaurant, but I didn't want to be married to the motherfucker.
Yeah, cleaning up after Peckerhead constantly.
Every time he phones, it's like, I wonder what he wants this time.
Hey Tim, what do you need?
Yeah. That's okay. It's reciprocal. I phone him for metal. Get me some 3-inch stock from work, please. Bring it home. I gotta build a bumper for my bush buggy.
Nice.
Yeah, and I did. And that's how I learned I don't like fucking working with metal. 8 hours of drilling and grinding to put that custom bumper. It's on the front of my Vitara now because it's the only thing I can flat toe behind that motorhome. It looks terribly redneck, but man, it's functional.
It's more important.
Right? I'm a big function over form. That's why I got this sexy shirt on. It's mostly to cover my nipples. I don't care how I look.
Yep. Keep the boiler warm. Agreed.
He offered to take his shirt off and flex at the zoo. The kids were horrified.
Yeah. Kyla said, I don't see no gorillas around here. I'm like, well, I'll take off my shirt and flex.
I was in. They were not.
Well, I guess you're probably an actual silverback by at this point too, right? So
you know, just a V down here, but
No, you got a silverback going too.
oh well, I can't see that.
that's sexy. That's
I think so.
That's dominance right there.
Right?
Yeah, I was going for silver fox, and I ended up a silverback.
You make a fantastic gorilla, Mom.
Right? You got to when you're like oozing machismo like I do.
You wanna
Is that what you call it?
get a little machismo on the side of your mouth? You wanna wipe that off?
The rest of it I get with a whore's bath in the morning.
As long as it doesn't land in my hair.
Yeah.
Sorry, Sarah.
Too much and yet just right.
Yeah.
Just right as none.
No.
Don't stifle our creativity.
It's our vacation too.
Yeah. Yeah.
So no bugs out here.
Yeah,
Has
it's
it been like
saying
that in the city?
No, it's pretty shitty with bugs, but it doesn't seem like we're too near a slough, though. I think is the other thing is there's freaking huge storm drains everywhere in Calgary, so I think we're pretty lucky here because we're just in the dry prairie.
I didn't see any bugs at the bars that I was at.
Yeah, well, it's still pretty hot though, especially if you're downtown.
Well, we were in Inglewood.
That's-
Close.
Yeah, so you're. I mean,
It was
still
a 44-minute walk.
nice.
Well, that's what
So
Google suggested. It ended up being more like a 55-minute walk.
Because they dropped you off so far.
Yeah, you took a 27-minute walk and made it into a 55, but that's okay. I had a great walk.
It's important. Got to keep it limber.
I've done over 22,000 steps today.
Oh shit!
It's like Vegas all over again.
Can't even relax. What is going on?
Oh, no rest for the wicked.
I said my dogs were barking, and she's like, "You have dogs?" I'm like, "No, shit, no."
Idiom.
Well, and she's really good for the most part, but every once in a while I'll say something that just throws her for a loop. Probably something like that.
Yeah.
What's a loop? Why are you throwing me it?
That's hilarious. The irony being, or the coincidence being that the kids are throwing a loop behind you right now. Flying disc of some type.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, check that out.
Not irony. That is not ironic. I know the definition of words.
Coincidental?
That's the one.
Croxel-defific.
Yeah.
We were discussing the differences between sarcastic, sardonic, and facetious.
Oh. Please do
Subtle,
explain.
but important.
Yeah.
So, facetious is not malicious in any way. It's simply, say, noting something in a...
Sarcastic manner?
Yeah. No, a
No.
humorous but slightly dark way, but not in any way malicious. Whereas sarcastic is far more malicious sounding, condescending can be. And sardonic is sort of just dark, but not mean. Sarcastic is the only mean one.
Yeah, that's the one that's intended to hurt people.
Yeah.
Those are the ones that are just stating things in a dark purpose.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, that's my novelty flying disc.
Yeah. Which is actually kind of funny. I actually usually start these things off with word of the day, and I totally shit the bed on that one.
But
All
yeah,
right, grab my phone.
Sardonic, sarcastic, and facetious.
I mean, we got
Good
3.
words.
Those are really good ones. It's starting to bother me now. Dictionary.com says,
Oxford Dictionary for the win. So
ooh, it's Fletcherized, not Felcherized.
Damn it, I got my felching straw.
So close. Okay, there we go. Felcherized, to chew food slowly and thoroughly.
isn't that masticate?
Also,
That's
yes.
just the act of chewing, isn't it?
Yes.
Well, this
So
is...
we're choosing, we're dead.
Fletcherized is more specifically to chew food slowly and thoroughly. Because masticate is just mashing your teeth on food, regardless of
the
tempo.
speed or
Yeah.
thoroughness.
Yeah.
All right.
Now we know. Now we're just like full of words today.
I'm
Man,
full of words every day.
I'm so good at stuff. Like I can use big words all the time. Like I know how to photosynthesize.
Patrick asked why the grass was green. Colin and I both said at the same time chlorophyll.
Nailed it.
Chlorophyll.
That's inaccurate. Grass is every color except green because that's the light that's being reflected back to your eye. What?
I
All
thought
right,
it was...
way to take it too far, man.
I know, right? Fucking dork.
Was it science class or some shit? The dog is bigger than that baby.
So, good trip all in all so far?
Yes.
Nice.
Got to see a whole bunch of people that I wanted to see.
Well, that's good to hear.
Some
Great.
people you didn't want to see.
Nope. The people I didn't want to see didn't show up.
Family?
Yes!
Yeah, they never did make it out, eh?
No, and I did want to see some of them. I would have been totally stoked if any of them came out, but they didn't.
Yeah. Well, we see some in Drum. So we get partial family. But I mean, I get it. The whole family is like super far north Edmonton or parts of Edmonton, and we were like dirty south Edmonton.
Yeah. But I mean, whatever.
But here we are in the dirty west, and Connor came all the way out from the shitacular south.
Yep. Because I had well, that's not true, I actually had something on tonight, but it's like, fuck it, I don't get to see you guys very often, so.
What were you going to do tonight?
Well, I was actually hanging out with people that I was doing the rental for, that I've been doing for almost a full year now.
That's a long rental.
Yeah, it didn't need to be, but that's how long I was working on it. And I started.
Oh, you're a contractor.
Yeah.
I get it.
Well,
You're coming back tomorrow, right? Oh, yeah.
I'll be here a month later.
Oh, there was a problem at the Home Depot.
Yeah. Yeah, they had a bunch of screws with the heads on the wrong side. I don't know what to do with those. So. No, it's because I didn't run the job. They were kind of running the job, so I was kind of just there to do the walls and ceilings and stuff, and that was a mistake. It should have been done like 3 months ago, but I mean, at the same time, though, too, because it took longer, they kept just adding stuff, and it's like, well, while you're here, you want to start doing stuff at our place too, because they own 2 houses side by side. And the one they're renovating for her parents. So I was like, shit, I'll keep working. No problem here. So yeah, it's like, I think it's great. And then last week I started teaching. Well, supposed to be both the husband and wife, but the wife and a couple of the neighbors started doing yoga and kung fu and stuff with them. Because it's just like, I know how to do that kind of stuff. If you need to limber up more. Like, oh, okay, cool. So all right. These guys are just gonna.
So you're doing a yoga kung fu class?
Yes, that's my kung fusion.
Nice.
Yeah, it's back.
Confucius says, downward dog, bitches.
Maybe double.
Yeah, it's kind of a sweet gig. I've been teaching kung fu and stuff for, well, basically trying to most of the way through the pandemic and stuff like that. But it's been nice. Mostly just my own motivation a lot of the time.
So like, how far are you in Kung Fu?
I'm first degree black belt.
Okay.
I have been for... Shit.
Kung Fu.
The Dane Cook martial arts.
There you go. Yeah, I should have thought it through before I said it.
Yeah, I knew where it was going though.
That was your line. Hey, can you make sure the screen door is closed when you come through or back, whatever you're going to do?
Bugs are going to get in there.
You gotta separate them. There you go, buddy. Good
You
job.
gotta keep them separated.
But yes, I've been a black belt for like 5 years now. So it's part of the curriculum to help teach and stuff as well, so you kind of understand the stuff better. But
yeah,
I mean, I've kind of, well, I was approved to actually like kind of do mobile type teaching as well, so I've been doing that on and off for the last couple of years now too.
So do you have to teach through a club or do you teach independently?
Both. Like I'm trying to do my own side business, but I always try to refer them back to the studio as well.
Oh, okay.
So
but there's not like
a set curriculum or anything?
Well, like, so when the boys were in karate, there was like a particular karate club that they were a part of.
Oh, and that's like probably like worldwide affiliated kind of.
Yeah, I can't remember what it was, but it was something.
Yeah, we're not like that.
Should we set up the double chairs so I can like move over like the Johnny Carson show when you
put
can
me on
talk?
camera?
You can still stay off camera. You'd be just
totally cool staying off camera.
I mean, your voice is being recorded either way. But
I guess that.
Yeah.
But my face isn't.
Yeah. I guess
Your ass was.
My ass was. I hope y'all like my ass.
Yep.
But
shake those cakes.
So what's your audience?
Very few people so far. This is the 4th podcast, so I don't know. It's kind of the, well, I call it #CancelConor. So basically, I've got my Instagram page and stuff too that put on there. It's like I'm looking to have meaningful conversations before I get canceled, because I mean it's gonna happen. I'm a white guy. It's very likely.
All right.
Yeah. So.
I don't know. I pay no attention to podcasts. I don't think I've seen any.
No, you're probably not missing much if it's not really your thing. I don't watch sports.
I don't watch sports.
Me neither.
Yeah.
Or podcasts. Or YouTube.
Some of it's kind of the interesting moments of, like, well, basically it's going to be some level of pop history. Sort of thing like that, so it's kind of, some of it's interesting to be up on, but I mean some of it's just people are interesting to talk to.
So is this streaming live or do you edit?
No, this is all going to be edited afterwards. I don't have that, well, and I can't imagine there's very good reception out here at the moment. So, and I definitely don't have the tech for that.
Well,
This is super low budget setup right here.
if you've
You
got
don't even have
LTE,
lights, man.
Yeah. Yeah, eventually this is going to be mostly audio, not by choice, but... I mean, I guess I'm kind of still illuminated. Stay by the laptop.
well, so we can turn on the light. We get the orange bug light from the motorhome.
Yeah. Well, it's funny, I actually thought about bringing that hoop light that comes with some of the stands and stuff, but alas, I did not. Whatever. I'm not worried about it.
Yeah, I'm too ugly for TV anyway, really.
Yeah. And these things are actually pretty good for photosensitivity for a while, at least anyway, but... I mean, eventually it's going to get too dark and then... shit happens. But I don't know, it's mostly just for shits and giggles. I mean, I think I know some interesting people. I like to talk to them. And basically just the same, like this idea, just talk to these people, but just record it and put it online.
Yeah, see, when Connor texted me, I thought he wanted to do like a Zoom call, and I figured he was going to stay at home, and I was just going to drink beer and have my phone, and I'm like, oh, okay.
No, I'll be there.
Well, then you said I'll be there about 8 o'clock, and I'm like,
I don't know what's happening.
yeah,
I'm supposed to pick up Kyla.
the world is passing me by.
That's alright.
Yeah.
Deep D is like, no, my husband will drive you home. I'm like, does he know that? Well, I haven't told him yet. Should you tell him? Like, maybe he doesn't want to drive me all the way out to Callaway. No, you're my guest. I'm like, no, honey, I'm not really. Yeah, no, you're my guest. My husband will drive you home. I'm like,
I was like, booyah.
yeah. I said no twice. That's the rule.
Yeah, but I can get sloppy now, right?
Yeah.
Not quite. But I did convince her to have 2, and that was an awful lot for an Indian girl who's not supposed to tell her mom she drinks.
Did she have bacon with it too?
Nope, still vegetarian.
Ah.
But she'll take a couple glasses of white wine.
Yep.
Take it. Pretend you like it.
Put it on her insides.
Yeah. No, it makes sense.
Yeah. So, what about you? Still doing construction then, it sounds like, eh?
Yeah, still working my gherkin. That's been good though, man. I did paint protection film and stuff for a couple months. And it's a decent enough job and money can be made there, but...
That was up at the Jag or the
Mercedes.
I think we drove past there on Stony Trail or wherever we came in.
We
Yeah.
rode past a Jaguar one.
Was it Jag? I thought it was Mercedes.
We rode past Jaguar.
Whatever, basically it's high-end vehicles. It's putting like stretchy plastic on cars. It's not like it's a difficult job once you kind of get the hang of it. Like anything, there's certain tips and tricks to do it well. And it was a really nice change from doing construction because it was so clean. Like you're using water and baby soap and pure alcohol basically on vehicles all the time. So that was kind of really cool. Kind of enjoyed that part of it. But construction's paying the bills and people kind of just kept throwing work at me, and it's kind of the whole Godfather thing. It's like every time I try to get out, they pull me back in.
I know you're good at this. You do like money.
Yeah, well, that's kind of the other part. Is like, well, this rental that I'm doing, it's supposed to be, the whole thing is supposed to be 40 grand. And it's like, just my part of it's been over 40 grand. Never mind the other trades and stuff, so it's been decent. So I don't know. I'm enjoying it though too, because I'm doing the Kung Fusion teaching, this kind of stuff. Like it takes time to edit this shit sort of thing too.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
So it's fun to do like all these other things and still have, you know, summer. Like I've been out floating down the river like a dozen times already this year.
Oh, have you?
Like it's been
Nice.
it's been a really good, relaxed year. And when I looked at some of the previous years where I'm panicking about work and trying to get as much stuff lined up as possible, and you know, making like 40, 50 grand sometimes because like the work was just drying up for a lot of people. And then when I don't try at all, I'm making more than that. And I get to do all these other hobbies that I actually have time for as well. So it's been decent all around. Like, I'm pretty happy with how my almost 40th year is working out pretty well here. So
You almost 40?
yeah, this December I'll be turning 40.
Oh shit, I thought you were younger than us.
Maybe.
He is younger than us. 'Cause
Yeah, but
we're
not by a whole lot.
Yeah.
no.
You guys average out at 40?
What's
No,
that?
I'm 41. She's 40.
Yeah.
Right, yeah, you're a year older than me.
January of '81.
Okay, no, 11 and a bit months older than me then?
Just barely.
You're December baby.
December 9er.
Just less than a year.
Yeah. I'm sure we knew that like years ago at some point, but whatever.
Probably.
Definitely irrelevant at this point.
Yeah, I always thought of you as younger.
Yeah, well, because Colin and Cole are friends, right? So
Yeah.
we went to school together, so.
I always figured, 3 years between kids or something.
Nope. 2 years apart.
Nope.
2 years,
Maybe
well,
not that we had 3 kids.
Oh no, I said, the novelty flying disc almost landed on the camper, but it bounded off. Sorry. I'm like, because I'm singing what I'm thinking. Hey, look at that dog.
yep.
Yeah, there is
a
a dog.
dog right there.
Yeah.
Very good.
He's coming to visit.
Meow.
That's the neighbor's dog. He's super friendly.
And old.
No.
Check his balls, see how old he is.
Nobody said you had to hold the other end of the leash,
Yeah.
just that your dog had to be on a leash.
Aha!
FYI, there's some really nice, well, exterior-wise looking washrooms and laundry room just behind the office there,
Nice.
if you're looking for anything.
Does it come with a good shower?
I would imagine potentially better than the motorhome, but, wear your shower flip-flops so you don't get the foot fungus.
Hey, Pooch.
Or gamble.
Yeah, whichever. I mean, getting cauliflower growing out of your toes is kind of the hot thing these days.
Right? That's how you know you're sexy.
Yes, I'm sexy! I fucking knew it! Who would have thought my toes would be the telltale sign?
You thought it was the silverback. No. It was the cauliflower toes.
So, alright. I'll give you 10 seconds. 1,
Tomorrow's recycling day.
In Rossern, yeah. You want to text Palmer's and ask him to freaking take her shit out?
No.
Please? I'll do it. Leanne owes me a solid. I've taken her bin out lots.
Alright, you're gonna do it.
You mean you don't have to talk to your friend? How about?
Right? Why am I getting...
Or Plenty of Fish. Kyla joined Plenty of Fish, but now she's showing me and telling me that somebody else did it so that I don't have to
I have like
actually...
a fuck ton of messages from Plenty of Fish that I have never signed
Plenty
up
of fish
for.
is still a thing?
Yeah, and I have lots of them. So many people want to talk to me on Plenty of Fish.
Yeah, well, it's because you smiled once and one
I
picture's
never
up.
even made an account. Sarah Adams 2018 made an account.
Yeah, she just had her email usurped.
Oh, well, whatever, good enough. These are really nice people. Some of them have foot fetishes, but whatever.
Some of them have cauliflower toes. We get together. That's what the internet's about.
Send me a picture of your butthole.
Send me a picture of your toes.
Well, if they ask for it, you can send a picture of mine. Toes or butthole.
Either or. And if you can get it like both together,
Yeah, I can do this.
there we go.
You want to know how cheap I am?
Ah,
Every campsite.
There you go. No.
That'll be a long list, but every campsite charges you for a tent, which I get if you're like piling in people.
Yeah.
But everybody can sleep in the motorhome, it's just tight. And we want the kids to sleep in a tent, but every time we pitch a tent, it's $10. So, quick go thinking.
Because you actually, just so you know, if you're driving out to the mountains, you gotta have it. Well, it's $90 for the
day
season,
pass.
but a day pass. Otherwise, like it's $15 a day or something like that, or a 3-day pass, whatever it is. But because this COVID happened and there was nothing else to do, so everybody went hiking or camping or something like that. There's a bunch of junk and destruction and stuff like that. So it's somewhat of a deterrent, but it's somewhat to pay parks and stuff like that more, so they can get more people out there to take care of stuff.
Yeah.
But I mean, it kind of makes sense too, because you want to have the great outdoors being great, still not fucking destroyed. So
But you still want them used.
yeah,
No, it's tough.
I think it's totally worth it though. I mean,
Yeah.
living this close to the mountains to spend, well, because I haven't spent anything typically. I mean, you get a park pass if you want to go into the main part of the park, like past Banff, whatever sort of thing. But I don't know. I think it's worth its while. Like I get it. Our taxes kind of pay for some of that or whatever. But I mean, for another $90, whatever.
I already did this.
Puts me in the elite group then.
Yes, indeed.
Helps pay for cleanup.
What? There's a bug.
Oh, well, close the door.
Your friend left the door open.
Well, teach Connor. He was born in a barn. You gotta teach him how to close the screen door.
Do I get a hug from you too?
I want to be the dirty one.
Maybe go put cowboys.
You're still the dirty.
I know.
You're
I'm the kind of dirty you can't wash off.
It's hard to be the favorite if you don't give me a hug.
Hashtag cancel Connor.
I still manage.
Hashtag filthy, loving it.
Sorry.
Patrick's spinning.
Okay.
Kids section is back there in that field.
Patrick, go run.
There's dogs and friends over there.
Not through there, around.
Yeah, there's too many wires and stuff around now.
Go around.
You're doing
Around.
a podcast?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Dad's on.
Okay, just so everybody here understands, we're doing a podcast.
Alright then.
There's 2 cameras set up, laptop, microphones.
Can I be in it?
You ordered it.
You're obnoxious, and you're gonna be like edited out.
Okay, but you have to have like whimsical content constantly.
I am very whimsical.
You are not.
Now say something intelligent.
2 + 2 is 4.
Quadratical.
You're not acting hard enough.
2 + 2 is 4.
No
Plus
need to
5.
So you guys like all on TikTok? What's your deal?
No.
Good. Terrible.
Don't
It is.
I know, right?
No good bot.
And also China helps mind your data. I don't know if that's true or not.
You want to grow up to be a plastic
Just
bird that
amazing.
drinks water.
Everything does. I bought this power monitor hardware, so I could like I'm gonna go solar.
mean,
I'm
if
going
you
green
work
up in this
hard,
motherfucker.
Try your best.
But yeah, I wanted to go solar, so I got this power monitoring software and hardware, and it just it's pretty simple. You throw it in your power box, clip it on all your lines, and you can tell how much your fridge is sucking back, and your monitor, and your microwave, and all the rest of the stuff. But anyways, I wanted to integrate all this crap into my home assistant because I've got like my whole house is automated now. Walk into the garage, it's got motion sensors, turns on the light. If the washer finishes, my Google Minis say change your damn laundry.
Nice.
Actually, it says the laundry is finished. Giggity.
Nice.
Right? And it goes off every 10 minutes for 10 hours solid until somebody goes into the laundry room and switches the laundry because I'm like, I absolutely detest stank laundry left in my washing machine. If you start it, you finish the job.
Well, yeah, totally. Right.
But
Should've made the
yeah,
brush there, too.
so I bought this stuff and it's all cloud-based. They absolutely refuse to give you access to this data locally, and it has to go onto their servers. And pretty quick I realized that the whole point of this stuff is so that they can data mine all your power consumption usage and sell it to other companies. It is not about putting out a product for the consumer to allow them to do stuff. That's just, it's a fallacy. And I'm like, you bastard. So I might return it.
Yeah, that sounds about right, though. I mean, that's kind of the whole thing, that data is actually more
Valuable.
worth than just about anything at this point, because your attention is actually what's for sale. It's not their products. It's how they can
If I was
buy
lucky
your
to get
attention and
paid.
sell you better thing, or more directly what it is you need nonstop.
Well, and I mean, I have no problem with the data mining. If they want to know how much power my microwave or fridge is sucking back, that's cool. But you got to make a product that works for me, that does what I need it to. And they were completely closed-minded into enabling the whole home automation crew to have access to this data. so that we can, well, I wanted it so I can monitor my dryer, and now I can tell everybody to get their laundry out of the dryer,
That works.
Yeah.
right? I mean, I got shit to do, and I want to automate my whole house.
You got like a screen on your fridge and everything then too? Or?
No.
Those are kind of neat, but pretty ridiculous.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I'm so DIY. I mean, I'll get there. I'm gonna just glue an old tablet onto my fridge with the family calendar and whatnot, and then
Put a GoPro inside.
wow,
Oh, we need milk. I can see it.
yeah. We've got a friend actually that bought one of those fridges with the clear doors so you can see everything. And she's like, it's super awesome in the showroom. And then you get home and fill your fridge, and all you can see is the stuff you put in the door. So you can know how much milk you got, but you can't see anything that's on the shelves because you filled your door with stuff. So it's like, how fucking useless is this? I spent an extra $500 on this option, and all I can see is I need to clean my fridge.
Got you good, you fucker.
Yeah.
Yeah, some of that stuff is interesting. Like Bruce and Donnie in Medicine Hat, they've got a LG fridge or whatever.
It's gold star.
Yeah, and it's freaking huge monitor screen on the side of it, like a tablet or everything. So it's got whatever hookups to every app, sort of thing like that. But it does actually have a camera on the inside, or a couple cameras, so you can actually see what's going on in the fridge as well.
I'm not just. I mean, I can.
But I mean, it's also one of those.
Because opening the door was too hard?
Yeah, well, that's.
Or just remembering that you had sausage for leftovers and that might be in the fridge, and Patrick probably ate it before you got there.
Yeah, well, nobody uses it for anything other than the fridge.
And I have to
So
like
the-
look through my wallet. I don't.
Buying it with a tablet's kind of just
We can figure it out so that you can have
unnecessary
smaller
luxury, I guess.
Yeah.
Okay. Yes.
I don't know.
Cool. We can give you
I
change.
mean, if you didn't have, like, you didn't want your kids to have a phone or something like that, and you could send
May I
them
have change
a message
for
on the
100,
fridge or
please?
whatever, contact
Okay.
them that way, maybe,
We
I guess
can
would
do
be
that.
one thing.
Yeah.
But
Well, I saw a lot of value to having like your family calendar right there on the fridge.
Yeah.
Because everybody kind of starts with the fridge, whether it's milk for cereal or they're going for coffee or making lunches. But I mean, to know what's going on that day, it's like, oh yeah, Sarah's got dance and Patrick's got soccer and Caleb's supposed to go work for his grandparents today. Because I mean, our whole life is on an online calendar.
That's kinda cool.
Yes, it's the only brand.
Well, yeah, ever since Sarah got her phone, it's like, well, if you got something to do, put it on the calendar. It doesn't exist.
Yeah,
she
it's on the
doesn't.
calendar.
it's too hard to remember everything.
Right? Well, that or you better remind us earlier because we need to know at 6 in the morning when we leave the house, or it doesn't matter.
Yeah. Well, that sounds about right. I mean, I definitely don't have the memory for a lot of shit. And look at notifications like, I'm supposed to hang out with somebody today. Who is this?
Yeah.
Well, and when you're like looking at schedules for so many more people than just yourself, it gets hard.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, no, we can't go hang out. We got to take Sarah somewhere.
Well, and one of us does, and the other one of us has to go and do something else with one of the other kids, or.
Well, that was kind of a pre-COVID thing. So, I mean, our lives got really simple. It was awesome. It was like Vegas. I mean, there was day drinking everywhere. Sleep whenever you want to. Now we got to get back to normalcy. Fuck opening up. I liked it better when I wasn't allowed to go anywhere. They should have done a bunch of road construction too.
Yeah, no shit, right?
When there was no cars on the road, for God's sakes, fix it now.
Well, we can't do it in the middle of January. It's like all I'm hearing is excuses, guys.
Yeah. It wasn't January, it was March 15th. The whole world shut, well, North America shut down. Canada, anyway.
Well,
Yeah.
there's one thing I do feel I should.
And there was like a couple month period that all the roads could have been fixed.
Different people to snails.
Yeah. Yeah, they could have really hammer timed it, but I mean, oh, you can't drive your excavator next to somebody else's plow
Yes,
or grader or
you
truck. It's
can.
like,
Right?
what? Yeah, a lot of that shit has been pretty preposterous because there's so much more that could be done. And well, and really for what it was, I mean, sure, when we didn't understand, but, well, Troy said that. It's like it was, you
Your
know, a big,
brother or
yeah, our brother Troy.
Funkentron?
No, not Funkentron.
Because he's got an opinion on everything, so he might have said that.
No, but it was one thing when we were unsure about what it was, you know, and it's like this possible actual terrible pandemic that's going to kill tens of millions of people, but then we find out it's kind of just a bad chest cold, you know, not to discredit the people that died, because that definitely happened, but I mean my dad died of a cold, technically, but it's like, well, his liver was shutting down and his body went toxic. That doesn't matter though, the cold is what killed him. It's like, come on, guys. Let's be accurate with our facts here. And not.
Well, and I think a lot of people did die of COVID. Like, the numbers are there.
Yeah, there was definitely underreporting just as much as the overreporting.
Well, there was definitely in the beginning, too.
Yeah. Yeah, and it was. Well, the other part of it is, though, too, that there's incentive for them to say it was COVID, because it was. Every hospital gets more funding because they have to do larger quarantine. They have to.
I believe that was mostly American, though,
yeah.
not so much Canadian.
I don't think that was us.
No, it's definitely more an American thing where capitalism runs everything. But even then, I mean, you still need to spend more money and resources, even with socialized medicine. So
yeah, but there was no more money, so
I don't think we benefited from extra COVID cases.
No, there was.
No.
I don't think there was anybody who benefited from having our numbers higher.
No, but we didn't have high numbers really either. It was what, 0.06% of the population that had passed from it?
I don't know. I paid attention back in the day. So it was pretty easy to stop focusing on that.
Yeah, well, that was the most recent time that it looked. Because it's like, well, the way they're talking about the stuff still after 18 months, like the numbers have to be like ridiculously high. It was 23,000 deaths, I think, the last time I had checked, and it was 25,000.
Where?
Canada.
No.
All of Canada?
Yeah, all of Canada.
Our numbers are higher than that.
Baby 26 now. Like
Total?
Total deaths.
How many COVID deaths in Canada?
Yeah, so it
used epidemiology, so I mean, it's got to be a good source. That's a big word. Come on.
Nobody uses a big word unless they're a good source.
Yep. It's big stuff. But, I mean, in general, though, too, I mean, it was, like most things, like infectious disease or contagious disease killed 17 million people in 2019, 2018, I think it was.
Which one?
All of them. Like, basically, if you could contract it from another person.
Oh, in general.
Yeah, just generally, however many, like, the flu kills like 500,000 to 1 million people every year.
Well, deaths today was 10. Total deaths was 26,570 in all of Canada.
Yeah, so the last time I checked
Saying
was...
it for like all of time?
Yep.
Damn.
All of time.
Yep.
Yeah,
so
that's a lot lower than I thought it was.
Right? Because you've been watching the mainstream media.
I haven't even though.
Yeah.
It's
not about the science, it's about the narrative. I'm going to put on my tinfoil hat and tell you all about it. Not to say that's not nothing. Obviously, I mean, it's still...
every single one of those 26,000 people has somebody who cares for them.
For sure.
But...
at the same time, though, too, how many of those same people would have caught what we call the flu and died pretty much the same way, same time?
Well, the flu was almost non-existent this year because of all the
precautions. But how many of those 26,000 people would have died from the flu because of whatever...
Yeah. Or, whatever other organ failure.
Pre-existing conditions they had.
Yeah.
How many people died from the flu in 2018 in Canada?
Yeah, I mean, worldwide it's typically something like, on average 500,000 every year.
So, I mean, the converse argument is that our numbers are low because we went and
shut the world down.
Shut everything down, and it worked.
Yeah. Which, understandably, it makes sense that it's not that it isn't...
It's not that it's not bad, it's that we weren't hit horribly because we put things in place.
Yeah, and it's good that we had the prevention and stuff too, and I know it's always compared to the Spanish flu sort of thing too, where that killed 50 million people 100 years ago.
Good.
But I mean, that's, I know, right?
A little dark humor there, sardonic.
Sardonic.
There was no malice.
And he didn't say like good, so you know it's not like the sarcastic tone to it. Or anything, so.
And it definitely wasn't nice sounding, so it wasn't facetious.
No.
Go figure. I can't find flu statistics nice and easy as they were laid out of COVID statistics.
I should have Fletcherized that sausage better because it's still stuck in my throat.
It's definitely on you, man.
I know. I'll just swallow it whole like a duck. No chewing at all. It's just, duh.
Remember, it's sausage to mouth, not mouth to sausage.
You guys ever see me eat a banana?
Do I want to?
Yes, but I will not look you in the eyes.
Do you cut it into slivers off a knife and then eat it
That would
like
be
a
kinda,
man style?
I thought chicks would do that because they don't want guys in particular to watch them eating anything phallically shaped.
See, and I thought it was guys that did that because they didn't want anyone to watch them eat anything phallically shaped.
No.
I've never
I don't know, I
seen
mean-
anyone do that.
You gotta warm it up with your lips a bit first anyways, right?
Y'all overthinking eating these fruits and vegetables.
Like, did you not just eat a banana?
Right?
It's good with peanut butter.
If you think it means anything other than mastication, that's on you.
Fletcherization for
Right.
the win.
Yes!
I'll get it in your hair.
Yeah, I bet you would. That one was just a banana, Sarah.
Where did your mind go, Sarah, honestly?
Remember, you're being recorded for posterity.
Yeah. I mean, there's only 2 cameras that you know of, so don't worry about it. What else is new? How's the job going?
Do you want the good answer or the real answer?
The real answer, because good answers are bullshit.
I love it, but they fucked me over.
Oh yeah.
Thanks for doing the dishes, bud.
No problem.
But is that unexpected, or
Are these
Unexpectedly fucked me over.
I
That
don't
sounds-
know. I
is
don't
it a
think so. I
whole
think the
follow the
cheese
money
bowl-
kind of thing again too?
Yeah, it was.
Sorry.
So the woman that I shadowed, quit or moved to a different department. I applied for her job. They hired somebody else with higher education to do method development, which is not what she did. Said they were giving me her job, but not her title, not her pay, and that I could grow into the role and maybe I will be able to get titles and pay later.
Oh, the carrot and the stick kind of thing.
So I'm doing her job. I didn't get anything with it though.
No.
But I like the job, so it's tough.
Yeah, because that. I mean, why pay you more if they don't have to, right?
Well, and they she left and they hired for her position. I applied for her position and they hired somebody else to do a totally different position and then just gave me all of her work.
reverse cowgirl?
Yeah, basically.
Yeah.
I got fucked, but I didn't see it coming.
Yeah. Yeah, that sounds almost exactly right, actually.
But the thing is that I like the job and I like the team, so I don't want to walk away. But
Yeah. Yeah, I suppose, eh? I mean, fuck do you do?
well, right now I'm sucking it up.
It'd be EI is what she would do if not this, because...
But I wouldn't even get EI. I'd have to
Are
quit.
you kidding? Nick, he claimed he got EI after quitting all those jobs.
Yeah,
so
Nick claims a lot of shit. I don't actually believe anything that comes out of his mouth. He also claimed he went 200 kilometers an hour and then got a cop to like write him off because she liked his dimples. Just because he said it out loud doesn't mean that I believe him.
Yeah, first of all, like a female cop?
Yeah.
Just kidding, Sarah. Women can do anything. Now, is that one of those things where you kind of just slowly get worse and worse at your job until
No,
you just like?
I'm getting better and better at my job.
Oh,
I'm not spiteful that way.
do you steal Post-its at least?
I use Post-its.
It's another day, another box of pens.
I'm getting them good.
I mean, I might have convinced them to buy me the pens I really wanted instead of the cheap pens, but
Yeah, that's a bit of a kick in the pants, eh?
it felt like a bit of a slap in the face. But it just is what it is.
Well, it definitely can't be what it isn't.
True.
So there's that.
I'm not sure how that falls into my live and let live philosophy, but I mean, totally on point, man.
Yeah. Well, it's not a productive thing to get angry or frustrated or worried about.
Well,
it
I'm
either.
either going to be so mad about it that I quit, or I'm not, and I'm just going to keep doing the best job I can.
Yeah.
Those are my only two options that I see.
Oh no, you can really phone it in.
Yeah.
Trust me, I've seen this attitude plenty in the workplace.
Yeah, I could just show up to collect a check, right?
Yeah.
Technically, yes.
2 feet in a heartbeat. That was on the job app, right?
Yeah. Oh well, shit happens though. I mean, such is the working world. Part of the reason actually why I stopped working for Mercedes is like, oh, big business is exactly the same in every industry. I get it. You guys don't give a fuck about me or anything, how much money I can make you.
Yeah.
Well, see, and it's not
Whatever.
even big business. It's like more personal because you know your manager and you know these people. This was like applying for a promotion, not some. Well, and then it sort of was, I guess, because it was HR that made the decisions, and I don't know HR,
Yeah.
but I don't feel like it was a big business thing. It felt more personal, which is, I think, why it hurt a little.
Yeah, because it seems like they're intentionally slapping you in the face, sort of thing like that, but trying to be like nice about it, and it's like, oh no, don't worry about it, we got you covered, buddy.
If you just hold it out, maybe you'll get that promotion in the future. Just grow into your role.
I've been growing these rolls for 3 years now. How much bigger do you want me to be?
Every day after work, I drink so many beers just for that purpose.
Yeah.
If you're not going to give me a raise, could I at least get a beer allowance? This is getting pretty expensive dealing with your bullshit.
Like, right? Pick
I
your
gotta
role.
self-medicate here.
Yeah. Mommy drinks because I cry. Oh wait, no, that's a different topic. Hold on.
That was a few years ago, man.
Yeah.
You're dating yourself.
I know, right?
And that was coffee back then.
Yeah. No, honestly, it was kind of funny to see like all these tall people that weren't you guys. Like, wow. I guess they like continue living their lives every day when I'm not around. So.
Right?
But you guys, like, I'm sure you can see this.
No, I'm
the
every
time
single day
scale, but-
amazed that they're like taller than me.
Yeah.
It throws me for a loop constantly.
Not Patrick though. You can keep him in a box.
Right?
Yeah.
He can just stay short. But I've
Put
got
him in a
like
suitcase.
cousins that I used to babysit, and I mean, I changed their damn diapers, and now all of a sudden they're married and having kids, and it's so weird.
Yep.
I'm like, no, when did you get old? I'm allowed to be old, but you're not.
Yeah, well, that was the whole thing about going to Rostern, and there was like a new gas station on the highway. Like, things don't change here. What's happening? Like,
Right?
Yeah.
Petrocan down near shut down now. I think the subway's gone.
hold out.
Yeah, well, the guy that bought it from my dad, he went and did the subway school and whatever, and
Samaj Artiste.
yeah, got the franchise license and went. But when he sold it, the next guy, he didn't do that. And then they did their food order, and Subway's like, "You're not a Subway." Like, what do you mean we can't just order more sub stuff? They're like, absolutely not. You're not a franchise. You're not paying for it. So They made him shut it down.
Oh shit.
Yeah, they didn't want to go to the subway school, or they didn't know how, or they didn't have time, but it's really unfortunate. The whole subway is gone. And then they reopened as a new pizza place and sub shop that like used the equipment but not Subway.
Hands down purple?
And it lasted like 2 months, 3 months.
Oh shit.
Pile High Pizza. Yeah, it's too bad. I phoned them to try it out. I'm like, hey, can I get a Pile High Pizza? They're like, nah, they're permanently closed. I'm like, already?
Damn.
What? There is 3 Chinese food restaurants in town now.
That's kind of cool though.
Yeah, the hotel, the New Mall, and then the Golden Chief has reopened as another.
Westernized Chinese restaurant?
No, actually, it's Asian food, I guess. I shouldn't be so generic. It's Filipino.
Ooh, nice.
Yeah, right? Oh my god, it's so delicious. The Filipino family moved into town a few years ago, and they would do, I'm at a loss for words, but all them super tasty dishes, and I want the orange
Noodles.
stuff and the green stuff, and yeah, they do it at the fairs and the farmer markets and stuff, and then finally they renovated a restaurant and they just opened up for takeout, so.
Oh.
Right, if you want some super tasty spring rolls and or hand rolls, salad rolls and shit like that, and, that delicious rice and
somebody's like, whatever, non-speaking English grandma's in the back doing a bunch of the cooking and stuff. It's like, okay, this is gonna be awesome.
actually it's the kids.
Oh really?
Yeah, well, Grandma.
Family?
Yeah, it's a family business. Grandma's definitely in the back. They've only got certain foods when Grandma makes like a massive batch of whatever, and then they've got it for a couple of days. But
Nice.
yeah, the kids run it, run the front and stuff like that, and it's delicious. It's nice. I like the diversity. I absolutely love ethnic foods. I mean, I don't want something I can cook at home. I can make a burger at home.
Yeah.
I like a good burger, but still, if I go out, man, give me something I can't make at home.
Yeah, that's what I always thought was funny about these supposedly fancy Italian restaurants. Like,
Yeah.
I'm gonna pay what, an extra $50 for spaghetti and meatballs? Better be something fancier than that.
Right? Oh, garlic bread, eh? Yeah, I've never had that before. Yeah, no, I've never been a big fan of Italian restaurants.
No, they definitely taste different, but I mean, for the quality and the value and stuff, like, yeah, I can make a lasagna, thanks.
Right? All you can eat sushi, man, I love that.
That's pretty awesome.
Yo, we tried the fusion Thai sushi all you can eat in Ranchlands the other day and yesterday, and holy fuck was it good. It was unbelievably good. The food was fast, the service was friendly, it just kept coming. I mean, they got that iPad that shows you all the pictures. The only thing it lacked was descriptions, which would have been nice, but
Gotta brush up on your Japanese food names.
no, I mean, like I said, it was all picture based, so I mean, if you can touch an iPad, you can order. But it'd just be nice to know, I mean, is that cheese sauce or hollandaise? And it's neither.
Never. It's never cheese.
No, it's not. But I mean, there was stuff that came with cheese whiz. Although the one in Saskatoon, what is the sushi place we go to?
Long Island?
Long Island.
You're like,
New
hey,
Island.
Oh.
New Island.
Long Island is iced tea. New
Yes.
Island sushi. They've got.
Or a place in New York or whatever.
They had mustard on one of their sushi rolls, and it's like,
Oh,
Well,
that
that's
was
odd.
bad.
yeah,
No, it was just bad. We
Right.
tried it. We thought maybe it would be okay. We were wrong.
You were mistaken.
right.
But I mean, that's the fun of adventure. You try things, and sometimes they're awesome, and you had no idea they would be.
Yeah,
And
sometimes.
sometimes they suck, and you really should have known better, but maybe they would have been that awesome thing you didn't know about.
Yeah, well, that's always kind of good with the exploration part of it. It's like, well, that's one of those things you try once.
Right?
Now I know, and I don't have to do that again.
Yeah. My adventure has been sated today. No, it was good, thank you. 20% tip, cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
Like kimchi. I won't make that mistake twice.
They saw you coming, eh?
No. I like a lot of Asian food, but I have not found anything at the Korean restaurants that I'm down for.
It's funny, I actually had Korean food this evening.
Yeah?
Some beef bulgogi and some pork. What the hell's the name? Whatever. It basically translates to sliced meat. And some kind of fancy sauce on it, but I actually did it with the proper lettuce wraps and rice, and then they have 4 kinds of different sauced veggies and stuff like that. But basically, you kind of just throw it all into a lettuce leaf and roll the whole thing up and eat it like that. And they're like, if you're eating it gracefully, you're doing it wrong. So don't worry about making a mess. I was like, okay.
Just hammer back.
Oh yeah, it was fucking amazing.
Really? I've
Yeah.
tried Korean a few different times in a few different places. It's never been my thing.
Yeah. Well, the gal that made it lived in Seoul, well, on and off for like 12 years, I guess. But she also knows that there's a specific A-Mart or something like that that's very specific to Korean-style foods and stuff. So she went there and bought basically the whole meal. And yeah, and it was same thing. It's made by like a poor English-speaking, poor in English, not poor people, but poor in speaking English family sort of thing like that. And it's like, yep, this is a great place to be. This is exactly what I'm gonna remind me of being out in Korea. So.
Was it a restaurant or just a friend?
No, it was. Well, she bought it at a, I don't know, specialty supermarket kind of whatever.
Yeah.
Sort of thing
Like
like
the TNT type of specialty supermarket?
Kind of like, yeah.
But I mean, a
More
little
of a
less
strip mall
commercial
size,
because
though.
that's like right in fucking West Edmonton Mall.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's just a slightly more ethnic superstore now.
Yeah, the TNTs here are kind of awesome still. It feels weird being white walking in there, honestly. It's kind of awesome.
Yeah, well, we went and cruised the one in West Edmonton Mall looking for stuff, but
Now, the pork buns I don't think you can go wrong with. Those are always awesome.
the which?
Pork buns?
Oh, yeah.
Those are so good. Usually you have to get 2 at a time so you can eat one while you make sweet love to the other one.
Ooh, it's cream filled.
I took only 1 bite. Here, try it.
Why does this taste like tadpoles and beef jerky?
I think I've had this before.
I call it shot in the mouth beef buns. Pork buns.
Cole and I went for dim sum actually a week ago. 2 weeks ago? 2 weeks ago, I guess it was.
Nice.
First time either of us have been out for like a decade, probably.
You guys, I don't know, you guys go to the beef shack all the time down the way. And
Oh yeah, it's not that we don't get a taste of ethnicity, but it's just Sunday morning proper Chinese restaurant dim sum. Long time since we've been there, because that's basically they're just walking around with different kinds of like 5 or 6 different steamers or whatever sort of thing like that, and they're just constantly like, you want some of this, you want some of this? Yeah, okay, sure, and you just keep loading up the table and eat yourself sick there basically. It was kind of awesome.
I've never gone to dim sum, always wanted to.
Yeah, that's a fun one.
I don't even know if you can get that in Saskatoon.
We can.
Sure you can.
We just
Well, I'm
haven't. Guarantee you, I know people who have.
I assumed it existed. I assume it would be a little better around Calgary.
Probably.
Yeah.
That
The other
might
landlocked province, we got it going on.
Right?
Yeah, some people are like, fish for breakfast? I don't think so. Like, well, it's not only fish. I mean, yes, you can get lots of fish stuff too, but I mean, you get
But I mean, supper for breakfast is the best way to go, no matter what ethnicity your supper is.
Yeah.
I'd rather have stew for breakfast than cereal every day of the week.
When I worked in the office, I'd always bring 2 lunches, one for breakfast, one for lunch. And people are like, oh man, those pierogies and sausages are making me so hungry at 9 in the morning. I'm like, yeah,
Right?
suffers this
Enjoy
pretty-
your yogurt and granola,
Yeah.
bitch.
Yeah, and go home and have like pancakes and sausages for supper. Ah, I'm living the life.
No boundaries here. The Humpty Dance told me a long time ago, do what you like, and I just went with it.
Humpty's never lied.
That's right.
Good old Digital Underground.
Yeah, I gotta say that's honestly one of the favorite things too. Like breakfast for supper. That's good. Another good flip that you can do. 'Cause,
Supper for breakfast is even better.
yeah,
A good
Agreed.
hearty breakfast of just like meat and potatoes and stew and cheese and whatever.
yeah, good and hearty. It's like okay, I'm gonna go sit down for now because it's too much food.
Well, I mean, like this whole thing of breakfast being all sugar and sweet and cereal and
Although I'm okay.
donuts and crap.
I'm okay with like pastry, fresh fruit, pot of coffee. It's a pretty sweet breakfast.
Coffee is good.
Yeah.
But if I'm gonna eat something for breakfast, I've started buying those chimichangas from Costco, and I'll microwave one of those for my breakfast every day
Nice.
because it's way more satisfying than anything else.
Yeah,
I like cottage cheese and fruit.
that's a good one. Actually, one thing I was watching this documentary about like a day in the life of Earth, basically, and they had people send in like 45,000 hours of video that they condensed into about an hour and a half movie. And one thing that I thought was interesting because it would just go through a 24-hour span, that everybody in the world eats eggs for breakfast. That's what that was one of the things that really stuck with me. That was like, that's kind of really super cool, like how, you know,
Right? We
ubiquitous
all
that
have
is
our
with-
whatever differences, but we all eat eggs.
Yeah,
I do like that. I didn't realize that.
yeah, I thought that was kind of neat. It was, well, it was neat too to see how many different ways people eat eggs and how lots of people just eat them the same. You just fry them in a pan quick, sort of thing. I mean, there's a handful of fancier ways or different ways.
Or you fry them in a pan and put them on rice, or you fry them in a pan and
Put them on,
put
yes.
them with whatever.
Yeah, different types
Toast.
of breads or whatever sort of thing. But it was there's something easy to take care of. Chickens are easy because they lay them every day, sometimes twice a day, depending on how
Well, and
the age of the
eggs
chicken.
are such
so,
a good source of protein, and
yeah, some rib stick and food. So, but in that same documentary, there was also this love parade, love festival, whatever. And there were so many people that were caught in this one passageway under a bridge that 8 people died. It's like, huh, spreading the love a little too hard, guys.
now that's love.
I don't understand. Why were there so many people?
Well, there was just tens of thousands of people in this area, and there's this one part of the concourse that kind of just got funneled through,
Like a pinch point.
yeah, underneath the bridge, and there was just too many people.
People got trampled.
Yeah, they just got jammed into this thing trying to get into the festival grounds.
Oh, okay.
It wasn't necessarily even the main entrance, but it was just one of the areas, and it was a fucking mess. It was, and the whole thing about it being a love festival was kind of the other. Like, boy, did we ever pick a good day? But yeah, it was kind of similar idea like we were talking about there before with how the kids are growing every day. All these things that are happening around the world every day. All these seemingly unimportant things that we simply cannot wrap our minds around. Like with 7 billion people around, like everybody's doing something every day.
Right?
It's too much to keep track of. Especially for our little monkey brains. That's why the internet is too much a lot of the time. Because we're only capable of keeping like 150 people in your head. Like that you have any real kind of
150
relationship.
seems like a lot.
Yeah.
Oh, I was thinking, I bet you I can do better than that.
Really? I don't think I could.
Well, that you have
I don't think I could do
any level
150
of
people.
real connection. It's usually somewhere
Not with
between-
any level of connection.
I don't know.
You really couldn't though.
It's hard
It's
to
a
say.
lot of work.
I associate with a lot of different people through work just on a daily basis.
Do I get to
Yeah.
talk to
Like-
people like all the time kind of thing? Like,
Yeah,
No,
I'm
you have to
curious.
feel a connection with that person.
Oh,
Yeah, somebody that you could actually consider either a friend or even some sort
Well,
of
I
associate
think even
in your
just
life.
saying that you can feel a connection with, back and forth of any sort, work, personal, celebrity, I don't care, but you got to be able to feel that connection.
in total?
Yeah.
150 sounds like a lot.
Oh, I bet you I deal with well over that in a week's time. Like, just the amount
Yeah.
of people I deal
Well, it depends
with
on the
at
job.
work.
I mean, it's kind of an average thing. That's
Yeah.
well, that book that Yuval Harari wrote, 'Sapiens. I didn't read it. I listened to the audiobook, and a couple times though. It's a really good one, but we're not in that sense. We're not that much different from chimps. Where
In a
they're
lot of senses.
in a lot. Well, I mean, genetically, we're 99% similar to them, but same idea is that they said that they can only get into groups of like 150 to 200, and then some type of battle or war sort of thing breaks out. They just start killing each other because it gets to be too much to handle to larger population. And it's like now we're interconnected with millions of
mind?
people.
No.
If I turn off that light, I just noticed the bugs congregating.
Good job.
Well, I figured if it wasn't doing any good illuminating our faces anyway for video.
Nope, we're pretty much maxed out with laptop and phone light at the moment. But yeah, the whole idea that we're able to talk to millions of people, it's like you don't have enough minutes in the day to talk to a million people. Never mind a lifetime. It's
Or the inclination.
or the inclination. You can group text a bunch of people or Instagram them or whatever sort of thing, but it's like you're not going to connect with all of those people. And even if you do, it's like for how long are you going to stay connected to them? Like
Well, and do you even want to?
right? So that's the thing too. It's like throughout time, it's like some people come into your life, some people fade, and it's like it averages out to about 150 people that you maintain some level of contact with. That you have some sort of care or concern about.
Oh yeah, well I don't give a fuck about anybody but myself. Very concerned.
Yeah, so that was kind of an interesting look at how how animal we are still, and how a lot like I think there's a lot of good that's coming through social media that it's a mess, and there's a lot of anger and bullshit that's coming out right now. But I also think this is also a good chance for us to really get everything out because we're such a global community now that we can hopefully step up and actually become a better society, a better people.
I mean, like I walked downtown for an hour today, and I saw groups of people walking, and I saw people talking and hanging out, and I mean, you say that the internet or phones and whatever are taking people away from people, but I don't see it.
No.
I see people still hanging out in the old school way.
Yeah. Yeah, well, like Colin had said earlier, like he thought he was an introvert until he didn't go to work for months at a time. It's like I kind of miss talking to all these people. Like, and it makes sense. There's a certain amount of time that you want to spend with other people, and I mean, there's a lot of interconnection that you don't realize that you have, and it's just like you start. Well, even people that you probably haven't thought about for 10 or 15 years, all of a sudden they just pop in your head for some reason. It's like, holy shit, I had a really good time with them for like years, and I just haven't talked to them for some reason.
Well, it's not even just some reason. It's just life gets in your way.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, life does happen.
Mostly car related.
Life is what happens while you're making other plans.
Sort of.
Mostly. Yeah, I sure hope this is kind of a growth period anyways, as frustrating as it is sometimes, or how messy it is, but
Of course it
Like
is.
for humanity or for you?
well, everybody, I think. As the individual or as us as a society, I think that's... Well, I mean, when they look at the great filter, I guess is probably a great way to look at it. the whole idea that every time life is taking another big step up the staircase of what we think existence is, basically, it's always been with cooperation. So it's like going from single-celled organisms to multicellular to more complex things to people and societies and stuff like that, to maybe at one time we're going to be a starfaring species, but instead of us continually fighting each other, we're going to get together and actually work together to go larger and on to the next step.
We need both. You need to have that fighting and that competition, and then you need to have the collaboration. You have to have the two of them working side by side.
But fighting in a healthy, competitive way, not in a murderous, warring way, though. Mostly.
Yeah, I could do without the race wars or the religion wars.
Yeah.
We talk about war. Like,
Yeah.
you get a lot
The
more
swinging
done if
dick
we're-
wars.
Yeah.
I mean,
White male privilege is a real thing. Changed my mind.
don't want to say that the wars are good, because that's not at all what I'm trying to say. But a lot of technological advances have came out of warfare that would never have came out otherwise.
But were
Yeah.
the technological ones we wanted? Like,
Yeah.
we could have gone in
Yeah,
a
like
different
nu-
direction.
Like the
nuclear
internet?
medicine. Or yeah,
Bombs.
the internet.
Like, we would have come up with the internet
Vaccines?
eventually.
No,
It
but
keeps-
these are all like things that came out because of warfare.
Yeah, they happen way faster.
You have to have that push
Drive and desire.
to develop things, and warfare is that push. And it's not great. I'm not loving it, but I'm not going to say that it hasn't done good things for humanity in retrospect.
I think we would have gotten there eventually, but that's a murder drama.
Yeah.
I think there was a better way, and we just chose the easy way, which is
There may have been a better way.
Yeah.
It wasn't
I'm just
the
gonna
easy
say,
way. It was born out of necessity. Like Mom brought up the internet. The internet was brought up, and its design, in that it's a star configuration with multiple paths between the computers, came about because they were concerned that certain areas would be attacked, and they wanted to maintain that communication network without having a single point of failure. So the internet was born in that they could have computers and communications between different centers and not rely on a single path. And that's where it kind of all started in the 70s, late 70s with DARPANET. It was a military communication system that didn't rely on a single point for communication, so it was a distributed network so that they could continue the communication even if 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 points. But I mean, when you reach out to the internet, your phone can take a path that it goes to a Chinese server via Newfoundland or Vancouver. It all depends. And even if it doesn't, it can go through New York City or California. There's multiple paths, and that was born out of the wartime efforts to secure those communications. That's where some of that invention, like necessity is the mother of invention, and war does drive a lot of that necessity. People probably wouldn't have cared. If you need to communicate between Chicago and New York, it would have been a direct path.
just walk there.
Right?
Take the boat.
Yeah, it's very true. There's been a lot of things that have been pulled out of that way, and that's a lot of that stuff is more the basic essentials that have come for what we consider or what we take for granted now, I think.
Like Tang. We got Tang because of the space program.
Still takes Tang. Does anybody?
Growing boys love
Astronauts.
Tang. If that 70s show taught me anything.
Yeah, M&M's, same thing. It's made for the warriors,
Right?
actual soldiers.
I mean, it's the same thing with the space race. I read so much about how billionaires could end world hunger, and instead they went to go for 10 minutes in space. But I compare that to the same articles that said the same thing about NASA, and how much technology came out of that space race that we use to this day.
Like calculators and alligators.
Fucking alligators never existed before now, so.
Right?
Yeah.
They were invented, and now Florida's got them.
Yeah. All the birds, there's no such thing as actual birds. They're all drones.
I read about that.
For real?
I totally did.
No.
I wish I could say I was joking, but I'm not. There's a genuine conspiracy, but that there's no such thing as birds.
Yep.
They're all government drones.
Although to your point, Sarah, exactly that level of conspiracy, or bigger, better things, like we have, time to sit back because we're not warring and everybody's more relaxed. We can feed each other and ourselves way easier. We're in warm, safe houses.
I think we should explore the ocean instead of space.
We can do both. There's 7 billion people on the planet. I'm pretty sure we can do more than one thing at a time.
Yeah, we haven't gotten it.
But the point I'm trying to make is the fact that we've had time to sit back and relax and think, okay, I'm not just worried about basic survival right now. So there's people that are looking into the stars. We have the safety and the time to be able to do that, because people that are in warring countries don't have time to think about, what's the moon all about? Why, how far is the sun actually away from us? Could we actually live on other planets?
Can we shoot our garbage into the sun to deal with this problem? Is that a bad idea?
Yeah. So there's the other part of it too, where yes, both of them are functional. We do need competition. Sometimes we need war. Sometimes it's a necessity. Sometimes there's times where we can just have a somewhat of a renaissance. And it's kind of, I always try to be the positive look on, the terrible things in life, like maybe the internet and the whole interconnectivity of everything is, we have an information renaissance now where sometimes it's a bad thing because there's too much information, but borders don't really matter anymore. I mean, the Super Collider in Switzerland is a great example of that. Like 16 countries got together, but it's like it wasn't the countries necessarily, it was a group of like-minded scientists that wanted to spend billions of dollars to figure out something.
Do you know what they came up with?
It wasn't powerful enough, and they didn't really figure that much out.
Yeah.
The Super Collider.
Well, because I heard the beginning half of this, and I never heard the ending, so I was curious if you knew what the conclusions were.
They're getting a better idea of what the fundamentals of life and stuff are, or constituent parts of, well, we assumed that every electron is exactly the same as every other electron.
And we're coming to the conclusion that's not true?
No, there's a thing called a muon, which is like a heavier electron, and it doesn't do the same thing, but it's really hard to do a ton of these experiments, because it's not like the Super Collider's just smashing shit together every day, all day long. It's not how it works.
No, that's fair.
But, I mean, they basically make one, and then they pull it apart to say, okay, well, this isn't the basic structure of matter and life, because we thought splitting an atom was one thing, but it's like, okay, when we split the atom, like, how many more things are coming out of that? Like, sure, there's a bunch of junk, but it's like, what makes up that? And then how is that applied to how things like the sun works? Why is gravity a certain way? Why is there, like, there's dozens of that kind of sort of thing that comes out of it, and it's a slow process. But to say that they've really learned anything huge, I mean, they're thinking there's a new fundamental force in the universe that they don't really fully understand until they get more testing, because of the way that
It's kind of a big thing.
it's kind of a big deal with the whole electron. Well, there's also the theory that there's only one electron in the entire universe, because it travels at the speed of light, so it doesn't experience time. So it can go around every single
that
atom.
Theory.
I mean, obviously it's theoretical.
That
so there's no way to
theory
prove it.
makes very little sense to me, actually.
Well, because it doesn't experience time, right?
It exists everywhere.
It can literally be everywhere at all times.
So how do you explain molecules with multiple electrons?
It's all of them.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't experience time. You're thinking time with a beginning and end, and it's not how it is.
It's
when time stops and you can still move and do things, it's different.
Hey,
Right? Right? But that's the thing, like, light doesn't experience time at all because it's traveling at the speed of light. So photons that are being created, like in the sun, let's say, they bounce around there. They figure for 100,000 years before they even leave the sun because they're created in the core. But by the time those photons leave, it takes 8 minutes for it to get here and then die on your shoulder. But even at that entire time, it didn't experience time at all. It did its whole thing and then showed up on your shoulder. You know, lights or stars that we see light from billions of years ago. Same thing. It's traveled across the entire universe, and it didn't. It was created and it was instantly absorbed into your shoulder.
maybe.
As far as we know, we're very, like, as far as we understand, maybe 5% of the universe, which for, you know,
That's awfully optimistic.
yeah, I would say that's a pretty
so
big number. I don't think we've got 5% of the universe.
And that's a we, including our best educated scientists, not a we as in those of us
No.
sitting here tonight.
No, and this is me talking out of my ass from the handful of documentaries and other research I've done myself, which I've not gone to school for. So it's like I'm the layman understanding of what physics kind of is.
Fair enough.
So I get the idea that there's a lot going on that they say, like,
There's a lot going on I don't understand. That I can get behind.
yeah,
Right?
because
It's
well,
just
there's
a huge study.
yeah.
There's so much out there.
Yeah, so, well, I mean, we can only observe like 4 or 5% of the universe,
There you go.
right? So to say that we've got at least that much figured out because we've took some pictures and we kind of made some equations about it, I mean,
Well, I don't think you can say figured out. I mean, that's something we're aware of.
Yeah.
yeah, that's probably more accurate.
We
I'm
figured
pretty
out
sure
our
there's some
small,
crazy shit
teeny,
out
tiny
there that
little
we can't even
speck.
Yeah.
fathom.
We haven't even figured out our own speck.
No, and well, the other part of it is too, we're still burning shit to make lights turn on. Like, that's caveman thinking still. Like, we haven't really evolved to anything yet.
Well, it's not fair. I mean, like,
We gotta get
have
past the conservatives, and then we can.
definitely moved
Jesus.
farther. Like, think of the technological advances we've had in the last 100 years.
Yeah, and technology's changed, but the thinking's still pretty much the same.
Yes,
Sort of.
to some degree, because there's people that are still fighting the whole
But,
progress thing, like in every
I mean, you can't tell me, like, the last 100 years we have advanced farther in comparison than we did in thousands of years previously.
Yeah, absolutely.
So,
Yeah, it's been
Except for
think
this
it's
last 10
kind
years,
of
there's
cool.
been a real reversion.
that we're living through, like, one of the biggest evolutions right now. And it's somewhat painful, and it's somewhat tumultuous, but it's kind of really cool.
Well, I think we
We're
in
living
particular-
through the fall of Rome. We're living through the rise of the Aztecs. We're living through history right now.
Yeah. Well, I think we in particular are pretty lucky because we saw computers as a plaything and
Yeah.
something enjoyable as where they've taken over the world. And if you don't have some level of computer technology that's
The government will
digitized,
hire you.
then my mom.
Are you 80 and have no technical skills?
Yeah.
Usually we like plug the tabs before you push them.
Well, I
I thought
crush
you said you didn't want them anymore.
Hey, you told us not to worry about your tab collecting on the camping trip.
Yeah, well, I lied. I have a
Is that for
now.
diabetes?
No.
No, she does chainmail out of them.
Oh, that's cool. That's a fun time.
Yeah, more fun than diabetes.
Yep.
Says most things.
Yeah. Yeah, I like the whole look at our version of what growth there's been. I mean, our grandparents saw things go in from basically horse and buggy to automated everything to life being way easier in the 40s and, well, 50s for sure anyways, to, you know,
To
not
now.
to not even understanding some shit that's going on because it's too far ahead for them. And we can understand computers, but it's like once quantum computing and certain other things start happening, it's like we're too old to start our minds wrapping around that kind of shit. It's gonna
I already struggle to wrap my mind around shit.
yeah.
But
I mean, there's a dookie there, and it's just like my head's round, and it's also round, so it's hard to wrap it around.
But I love the fact that we're living through a revolution. Like, this is the Industrial Revolution. All over again.
Yeah.
It's just that we're in the middle of it now. And I
Yeah.
mean, when you think about how people actually
an ashtray
felt
there. Yeah, I'll take it.
about living through the
Thanks,
Industrial Revolution, like, their way of life was disappearing, and everything they thought was true was changing. And
Leftover craft in it.
no thank you. Like,
Right here.
Well, I've got a buddy that was working in, or yeah, I think this weekend is his last push at Nutrient, and he was writing programming for autonomous mining machines, and he pissed off a lot of miners there. And it's like, oh, you're trying to take our jobs, this, that, and the other thing. It's like, no, I'm trying to make this easier for everybody. But it's like, basically, people that are like in their 40s and older, you're kind of done for unless you can figure out how to use technical things better. But it's like everybody else that's younger, it's like you can be here to fix the machine when it breaks down instead of being in there with a pickaxe and trying to dig shit out.
yeah.
'Cause this machine will do a better job than you ever could.
Well, and I mean, think about when the Industrial Revolution happened and people were being kicked out of their jobs. They're like, well, I'm used to using this pickaxe. Why do I need to have some machine come and just do it faster and better than I do?
Yeah. Taking my jobs, but it's like, well,
It's the same thing.
we're also creating jobs that you couldn't even think of in those days. Like, what was a computer analyst 100 years ago? Didn't even make any
No
sense to
such
put those
thing.
words together.
Abacus repair guy.
Abacus look at guys, and he just looked at it and just like, I'm analyzing this abacus.
No,
On that note, did you want any
you didn't
snacks
carry
or
the
anything?
one
No, I'm good, dude.
Cheese poofs, sausage.
beer.
No, I still have a gin drink handy here. Thank you, though. Yeah, it's interesting to see
I found it
the evolution of
Damn, son.
Nah, I'm just teasing.
You drank a honey brown.
That's what I'm having right now.
the only cold
I
beer
do
left.
love my brown honey.
Curious how he's going to edit this footage when you say things like that.
I'm
And
hoping that
what's
those
the
are like.
podcast gonna
I don't.
include?
I honestly, I don't edit the. I sync the video to the audio, and that's it. That's pretty much all I do. I kind of put the camera angle so it kind of like we're in the same frame, sort of thing like that, on a 16:9. That's it. I don't cut anything out. I kind of want to like leaving it open because, like, I'll do clips or whatever to help promote it. So it'll be like a one specific topic that we're talking about, like all the technological evolution. Like, I'll probably cut that one out and, you know, edit it down to exactly the interesting parts or whatever. But the rest of it, I just put the whole thing up. Otherwise, it's way better. I mean, that's kind of the whole idea of the free flow thing. And
Ask me anything.
yeah, well, and we're sitting around drinking, we're enjoying the company and stuff like that too. Like, say, hey, Cole, if you want to check out a conversation I had with Colin the other day, it's online.
Sorry about your luck for having a job.
Yeah. Yeah, but you get to see all of his teeth, so that's pretty cool. So
Let me smile at you.
yeah,
Oh, the moths are getting at your cell phone light.
they can try. What's up?
Taste the LED. The kid's bloody TV. You keep thinking there's warning things going off in the house. I keep looking for emergencies around my place, but it's just them watching some friggin' anime. Oh, the most annoying beeping ever.
Anime's taking over the world, but it really isn't.
No.
So many people have other interests. So.
Well, at least 2 out of 5 people in our household don't watch anime.
Did you guys watch Ninja Scroll yet? What?
What?
Dad? That was from the 80s. It's like, yeah, it's the only one I ever saw. So.
I didn't even see that.
Yeah, you did.
Did I?
Yeah.
Okay.
I borrowed it from Jay.
Yeah.
He's moving in next door, eh? Were you aware of that?
He was here a couple weeks ago.
No, but he's
Yeah.
like moving in next door to us.
Yeah, that's what he was saying. He's, I don't know, the one neighbor. Either way, it was the whole idea is like, yeah, if you guys start buying up that property, turn it into like an actual cool cul-de-sac. Like,
We
well,
weren't cool before.
Yeah.
No.
We,
Well, start kicking on all the fucking dead weight is the big thing. It's
they're
like-
all gone. Well, now we got to get rid of Jay if you want to get rid of the dead weight.
Well, the thing is, he's quiet. He won't say shit if you guys fucking put a bonfire in the middle of the cul-de-sac.
That's what
Well,
we
no,
did
but
to
that
welcome
did
him to
anyone
the
else.
neighborhood.
Nice.
We do a block party every year, and we always got looky-loser coming in because
Oh,
there's
yeah.
a couple houses for sales and whatnot. But yeah, 6 o'clock on a Sunday. Was it Sunday or Saturday?
Either.
I don't recall. It must have been a Saturday. But I put my stereo on there, hooked it up to the Wi-Fi so that I could control it with my phone throughout the whole block. And we just blasted party music through the whole cul-de-sac.
Nice.
Everybody brought out their chairs and we just sat there. Usually we do like a potluck and the whole thing. Like it's a day-long adventure almost.
Sweet.
Yeah. And we invited Jay and all the new neighbors, but we had the whole neighborhood out there. It was a lot of fun. We had, well, probably 20, 30 people, including the kids, because they're people too.
Yeah.
And it was a good time. And we were partying till 1 in the morning, just blasting music into the street.
Nice. Well, that's a sweet little spot because it is kind of your own cul-de-sac that's not really around anything.
Right? Yeah, there's nothing. There's nowhere to go. There's 8 houses, and I mean, unless you live there, there's very little reason to come down there, or if you want to buy it.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've had a lot of neighbors move. There's been like 5 or 6 houses that sold out of those 8 in the last couple of years. All of a sudden, everything started happening.
Oh, hey.
Yeah, change is as good as the rest, I guess. I mean, people got to move on and do their thing. So
Yeah, well, especially if the kids are growing up or careers change and shit like that too. But it's kind of nice for you guys too because it's like, well, I don't mind staying here and seeing if we have interesting new neighbors and whatever.
well, not only that, we bought our house for $250,000, and 10 years later, the houses around us are selling for almost $500,000. So giggity.
Yeah, that's pretty sweet.
Yeah, but where are we going to go? We're going to buy in the same market we're going to sell in, so,
Yeah.
I mean, unless we're moving across country into some sort of depressed market, it doesn't matter.
You know, you've got a mobile home.
Yeah, right? I'd be okay with this. I keep trying to convince Kyla we should build a 640 or like a 60 by 80 or 60 by 100 steel building.
Yeah.
Buy a really nice motorhome and just park in there. Have some fake grass and I tried convincing her. I'm like, I could build 6 bathrooms in there, 1 for each of us plus a guest bathroom. Now you can just live how you want. I mean, you be as clean or as dirty as you want to be in your own bathroom. I mean, what a great place to shit.
Yeah. But if your funk is coming out of that bathroom and the rest of us are noticing it, you got to get in there and take care of that.
But I mean, there's some fantastic motorhomes. There's ones that have, like the slide outs are decks. And you get a whole screen room that pops out with a deck. I mean,
Yeah, that's pretty awesome.
yeah, I don't have that kind of money, so, I mean,
No,
I'd
but
have
still.
this.
Still, though, I mean, it's not a
What do I do with that
bad way to
container
go. I
back
mean,
around?
Right?
the kids are almost there.
I don't have
10
a
more
house.
years. It's like, all right, house is sold, guys. So
whatever you.
we bought you luggage for graduation. Take the hint.
But I mean, if I could just build a dome over my whole yard, all my stuff's in there. If I want to fix on it, work on it, or do whatever.
Yeah.
And I mean, to hell with a heated garage. You just drive out of your heated house, your heated yard.
Yeah.
You don't even have to experience winter until you get out of your car in your uncovered parking lot and hate life, but I mean, that doesn't impact me.
I don't hate life.
Oh, you will when you got to walk through minus 40 from the parking lot to your building.
I won't.
It'll be
You
fine.
will, because I said you would.
My bad.
Right?
I mean,
Because,
I am going to hate life.
see, and I think she's just saying that for my benefit instead of really believing it.
I can hear your eyes roll.
No, sweetheart. I really mean it.
Get too comfortable over there, man. Gotta get a refresh one once in a while.
Right? It's 5 across the eyes.
Yeah, Sarah, do you know what the rule of thumb is?
Oh my god.
It's opposable?
No. The rule of
Yes,
thumb
it
was
is.
that about 100 years ago that you were allowed to beat your wife with something that was no wider than your thumb.
Okay.
Yeah, it's pretty brutal, eh? That's before women were people.
See, and now we just got the family motto, not in the face.
Right? And the number one rule is don't be a dick. Between
What,
the
in your
two of
guys'
them,
family?
you pretty
Yeah.
yeah. Between not in the face and don't
don't
be a
adhere to
dick,
that
you
rule.
cover pretty much everything.
Yeah.
Actually, no. Between not in the face and don't be a dick, you cover almost everything.
Yep. So don't be a dick.
The don't be a dick is a tough one, though.
Yeah,
I've
well,
yet to master
I didn't
that
say
in
they
40
did well.
years. I'm working on it, though. Mostly
At
in
the
public.
zoo, the rule was if Dad says it's a good idea, don't do it.
Don't do what Daddy don't does. That's been a rule since the kids were born.
You just be a good
Don't
role
listen.
model instead.
What?
No.
You try being somebody's dad, and then you see how it is.
I don't want kids.
Gotta go.
I've felt like that forever.
Shit.
I always wanted kids.
13 of them.
Yeah.
You're insane.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's women in a nutshell.
But I came to my senses after 3.
No, 0 is too many.
No.
Whoa! What are you saying? Like, euthanasia, or what's going on here?
Who?
We need less than 0 children. Pardon?
It makes sense, don't worry.
You're overthinking it.
We were just gonna not add to the population.
Do the China rule and only have 1 child?
No, I heard that's been rescinded.
Oh yeah.
They're up to
Long
3
time
now.
ago. Long time ago that was.
No, last year. This year.
Your mom was last year.
Wow, I have not heard a your mom joke since like Thursday.
Made so much sense.
Cheers, buddy.
Tell her how fat her mama is now.
Tell me how fat I am. Like, let's just keep this going.
Sarah, your mama's so fat. She broke her leg and gravy poured out. Your mama's so fat, she jumped up and got stuck.
Oh shit.
Sorry, Sarah. I think we're being ignored now.
The phone is very interesting. That's why we all have one.
Potentially much more interesting than
Frequently,
we are.
I invite people over to look at their phones.
Would you like to come over and look at your phone with me?
I think I've texted that to Snotface a couple of times. I'm like, hey, want to drink beer and look at your phone with me?
All right.
Yeah, he likes to come and hang out.
Yet again, the pee rig. Ooh, and it's dark enough to do it outside. I mean, not outside.
We're not here to judge.
I am.
Might be.
I'm here to judge. I'm so glad I went out to see Deep D. It was such a good visit.
It sounded like you had a lot of fun.
We hung out. At one point she cried because she missed her mom, and I was able to hug her, and then we started chatting about her co-workers again, and it was just a great visit.
Did she tell you how she's doing her job remotely?
Yeah. She just does deviations, so 90% of what she does doesn't need to be signed off. And anything she needs a signature on, she just gets a delegate to sign for her. So it works really good.
I always appreciated deviants.
Delegate.
No, you said she does deviations.
She does
I said
deviations.
I appreciate deviants. Oh,
We're on the same page.
I thought you were pounding back vodkas or something.
Nope. Some of that H2O.
Lane.
I know, right? What a wuss. No,
You know, 100%
used
of
to be
people
cool.
have died that drank water.
100%. Yeah, I agree. Although it makes me able to shit the next day, so I like that. Water has that power.
Is that my problem?
I thought it was coffee, and yes.
Yeah, coffee will just like bind it. Water helps things flow.
And grease gets it right out of there, just like a water slide.
Yep. Yeah, salty popcorn, lots of butter, and then lots of water.
Burgers.
I mean, the water definitely happens like an hour or two later when you're like starting to get like confused and a little panicky. And it's like, oh, I think I'm dry. I better drink some water.
Cruciferous vegetables, too. Couldn't hurt. Yeah. You know, I made a big bowl of sad veggies today, and they're the only thing that's gone. There was leftover Kraft dinner and sausage.
Nobody but us knows what sad veggies are.
Well, I'm pretty sure a lot of people have eaten sad veggies.
Oh.
No, I cooked them and they look sad. So they've been forever known as sad vegetables. It's like, these are the vegetables, these are like sad vegetables.
But we cook them like a few times a week. We live off of sad veggies.
Nice.
Yeah, they're actually quite tasty.
It's the Costco mix of broccoli, cauliflower, and carrot.
FYI, I don't know if it's because I made slightly less because it was just me and the boys today, or if this microwave just fucking rocks them, but the broccoli was burnt.
What?
Shit.
And I only put them in for 15 minutes.
Damn.
Right? So
Well, then I'm thinking it's the...
15 minutes? That seems like a lot of time.
Well, they're frozen
For
veggies,
frozen?
and we just throw them in and
Yeah.
steam them.
Even
For
then.
an entire bag?
Well,
Oh, right. I'm thinking
yeah,
volumes,
it's
probably.
like a big Corningware dish full of vegetables.
Kilogram of veggies.
Well,
Yeah.
yeah,
A kilogram of
There's the
veggies.
there's a
Duck?
lot.
There's a dog.
Yeah,
Cool.
there's also a baby and some people.
Yeah, but I like dogs.
Babies are people.
There's a tree, there's grass, there's
Yeah.
air, there's bugs.
Fence, camera, motorhome, water, shoes.
What?
There's shoes.
We win.
Gotta love stuff.
Ah, yes. Yeah, it's gonna be kind of cool to go see Mom, actually. It's been 2 years, basically, since I've been to the farm.
Been? Holy shit, child.
Yeah.
Your
Not
poor
because...
mother.
I know. She said that was the thing, is like, if another lockdown happens, there's no goddamn way I'm staying on the farm again for another winter. She's like, I'm not a particularly social person, but it's like, if I'm starting to get like stir crazy, there's a problem. Like, this is getting to be too much. Like, yeah, Mom, you know you're allowed to come out to Calgary anytime you want.
But she wasn't.
Yeah, it was. I mean, I understand that she doesn't want to drive because her eyes, for one, but in general, I mean, it's a 7-hour trip. That's a lot for those of us that are in good health. So, if she wants to fly or whatever, like, she's more than welcome. But I mean, I was never worried about the virus. Like, she's never going to get a fucking vaccination probably or a
She
shot.
didn't get vaccinated?
No. No, she doesn't give a shit.
Hmm.
It was kind of funny though too, because her sister, my Auntie Pat, was just like, "Oh well, I don't know if I can come out and see you, Cheryl." It's like, well, you've been vaccinated. What the fuck's the difference? Where's your logic here?
Yeah.
But I mean, she only goes to town once a week. I mean, her life hasn't really changed. I mean, she even called when halfway through March or something like that. 2020, it's like, so I guess there's a lockdown or something? It's like, oh yeah, your life probably hasn't changed. She's like, no, not really. I noticed when I couldn't go to the store, but it's like, I have lots of food at home, I just wanted something fresh was all. It's like, yeah, I don't know, I guess that's the world now, so.
Oops.
But yeah, last couple of Christmases have been, I mean, the weather is kind of shitty, but she's also, it's like, well, I don't want you guys coming out here and getting stopped by the cops and then having to quarantine and then being away from your lives and your jobs and stuff like that or whatever. And it's like, I'm cool with not driving. It's totally fine. I went to the dollar store and spent like $70 on Christmas decorations, so it was pretty sweet.
We did a Zoom Christmas. Both my parents got COVID over Christmas, so they couldn't come out.
That was the story at least, anyways.
No.
Oh, they got it.
Yeah.
We did Zoom. It was
Yeah.
pretty bad.
Yeah, Rita was pretty rough.
Yeah.
Pete, you'd think he would be worse off, but no, Rita caught it at the hospital. One of the, I don't know, some old guy, he got sick in the nursing home, brought him into the hospital, tested negative, and then he tested positive, and then Rita got it, Pete got it. So they just isolated. But Rita was pretty rough, like, it was hard on her. And Aunt got the variant. She was fucking down for like 6 weeks. Couldn't get out of bed, couldn't move. Like, she got hit hard.
Mm. Yeah, that sucks.
Mm. And then our neighbors too, they both got it, and then they got to sell their house now because they're old as fuck.
Not because of COVID. Just
No, well-
because they're old as fuck.
No, well, they were 80 years old when they got off the farm and moved in next door. And then they lived there for, what,
Sweet
7, 8
people,
years? Yeah, great couple. They used to come and drink with us on the deck. It was pretty awesome.
Nice.
Well, we'd drink, they'd hang out. They
They'd
brought
hand
over
out candy to the kids all the time.
Fucking lightweights.
Yeah.
I had to explain to him why it wasn't okay to give out mystery candies from a mystery pill container
Yeah.
from his pocket.
Yep.
Because he would just have like this random pill
Prescription
container
bottle.
Yeah, in his mind, it made
Yeah.
perfect sense.
filled with
Wow.
whatever candies he had, and he'd give them to the kids.
Do you want pocket candy or do you
Right?
want pocket candy
Can
in a
I give
container?
you a candy? And I'm like,
They're going to
How do I
start
tell
calling
you
you Bill
you can't
Bill.
do this?
I love your intention. However,
however, you cannot just hand out random candies from pill containers.
I don't know. I was cool with it. You never
I
know
know.
if you're...
it was Werther's, wasn't it?
It wasn't. They were blue.
Like a kablooey kind of.
Like
Boner pills.
Mentos. I'm pretty sure they were like. They might have been. I don't fucking know.
It's probably salt licorice.
They were usually mints.
Yeah, they were mints from a pill container in his
Peppermints.
pocket.
That's totally fine.
Scotch mints.
Says nobody who grew up in Vancouver.
I was all like, what's the worst that could happen?
Right?
And then I got lost in the forest one day.
Hey, if somebody offers you drugs, you say thank you, because drugs are expensive.
Right? Like I was told you'll always get free drugs. Like people will offer you, hey, you want
Right?
these? Like no one's ever done that.
No, nobody ever will. I don't know
Right.
where this idea came from.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. I like the whole idea of pushing drugs. Like,
Right?
you don't need to push drugs. Drugs push themselves. People love doing drugs. Oh, Shiza.
Right?
What's up? One more. I mean, really?
If you want a beer, man, we have lots.
That's nice.
He's got.
I haven't actually really been on the beer thing lately.
Alright. You drink yours.
What is he drinking?
I offered twice. That's
Gin.
all I need to do.
Alright.
It's the panty peeler.
That's true.
No, I just haven't really enjoyed beers all that much lately. Crack that right in the microphone.
It said, "Psst, I love you."
I mean, I haven't minded having an IPA when it's like a hot summer day and I've been working and gotten all dusty.
Oh, I
Worst-
don't like
worst
it.
beer.
Oh, I know, and that's how it was for the longest time. I had one of those, like, that's fucking disgusting. And then, well, a couple of years ago, Cole and I were working and we're just covered in dust, and
Damn liars! You don't.
we went to the, well,
Oh.
we're hanging drywall. We did real work.
You just
Fucking
get
We did real work.
It
I
happened
wasn't
once.
faking
Shut up.
it, man. I don't care.
So anyways, we went outside and grabbed a handful of sand and like rubbed it in our hands. We're like, oh, I'm so dirty. So we went to the bar. But they had their whatever special that was one of the IPAs, and knocked it back, and it was like a hot summer day. Like, oh man, it was like super refreshing. And, like, I feel like clean. It was good. And then, I mean, pretty much hot summer days the only time I want to drink one. It's like if I'm gonna have a drink, otherwise it's like non-sweetened drinks now.
Yeah.
I've never loved an IPA. They always have like that citrusy flavor to them. As I
Well,
watch you add lime to your drink, so maybe you like citrus.
I
But-
enjoy it.
I was actually kind of jealous. I like the lime.
Oh,
Could
I
I
never
have a shot?
offered. Yeah, by all means.
I never thought to ask.
Give it a squirt into your honey brown.
Damn. You could just leave the honey browns for me if that's what you're gonna do. Add a squirt of lime to your rhinestone cowboys.
Oh, there you go.
This is delicious. I'm gonna squirt lime on all kinds of things. I'm gonna put in my mouth.
You don't even know.
Feel the burn.
Creeper.
We're pretty used to looky-loos. We get like 7 of those vehicles buzzing our cul-de-sac. Like even our block party there that I was telling you about.
Yeah.
Everybody was in the cul-de-sac. Like there was 20 chairs set up around the manhole because we party like that.
Nice.
And people were trying to come down and looky-loo, and they made it halfway. And they're like, fuck.
Just gonna slowly back it up.
There's a big
Turn around.
vacant lot. You can crank a Huey in. I tried to convince Sarah to drive the Vitara back from the camp office there after I took the motorhome. I'm like, you want to drive the Vitara by yourself? Bring it to the
And
campsite?
she said no.
No. Incidentally, it's back there, so if she wants to go to bed, she's SOL.
What?
How
Oh,
did
yeah,
you plan
she
to go to
swears
bed?
You can sleep in one of the storage containers.
Well, I'll bring it back once Connor's gone out of the parking spot, but she's just going to have to party with us.
Yeah, or you could just roll under the RV. I mean, it's
That's pretty
sheltered.
spacious.
Yeah.
Looks dirty.
Looks dirty.
What?
So does the RV.
You're going to miss out on a lot of fun if you don't do dirty.
I'm okay with that.
That's, I don't know. Some people take hours to set up a campsite. Mine is 10 minutes.
Yeah, I'm still tenting, so it's. I mean, if I'm
A
going
bit
out,
more involved.
if I'm going glamping, so basically like this but with tents, almost we bring almost that much stuff a lot of the time, but we're set. But there are some days where it's like, wanted everything, but this is starting to be too much now.
That's the joy. Like, there is no too much.
Yeah, well, if you're going out for a couple of days, no big deal. Like, it's nice to have that extra little bit of luxury. And I mean, I've been out a handful of times going to like, music festivals and stuff, and you're like, oh, I wish I would have brought this. It's like, hold on. Because you go out often enough, and it's like, I have everything. If I don't, we probably don't need it.
Right? We pulled up and it's like, oh, there's a river. And then we saw people floating. I'm like, I got river tubes.
Nice.
And life jackets.
Yeah, river tubes, life jackets, rope. We just tied
We had
everybody
everything
up
we
and
needed.
floated for a bit.
But we didn't think we were going to go. We just
No.
brought it in case. And
I
lo
actually-
and behold.
Stuffed pretty much everything from my garden shed into the motorhome. I'm like, fuck it. If I need it while I'm at home, I can open a bin. If I need it when I'm on the road, I've got it with me.
Nice.
Mm.
You guys looking to do a float this trip to Calgary as well, or?
Probably not.
Well, we could maybe do it Friday. That'd be our only day. But
That's tomorrow.
no, tomorrow is Thursday.
Isn't today Thursday?
Today's Wednesday.
Today
Oh,
is
shit.
Wednesday.
Yeah,
tomorrow's
didn't you
Thursday.
take her out for wings and beers today?
Wing
A
night.
true Canadian
I
experience.
took her to a pub. She's never been to a pub.
Oh, did you go to the Bank in Barron? That place is bitchin'.
We started at the Dirty Duck, and then we went to the Hose and Hound.
Okay. Oh, right, you're in Inglewood. That's right.
And what was the other one you suggested?
Bank in Barron.
Bank and
Was that in Inglewood as well?
No, it's on Stephen Ave, like right in the core.
Mm.
But
We
that
were
actually,
walking down Inglewood.
that one used to be a bank, and it is fucking gorgeous in there. Honestly, it feels like I'm in a Batman movie or something almost. Like
There's
it's,
one in Edmonton that we went to that used to be a bank.
yeah, because the vault's still in the basement and everything. Like it's
Union
old,
Bank or something like that.
old glorious looking
Union
place.
Bank was the hotel that you and Megan got those tasty.
Yeah, that's the one I was thinking of.
Yeah, that's a hotel.
Yeah. Also has a fantastic pub.
The charcuterie. Was it a pub? I thought you just went to the restaurant.
Okay, restaurant, pub.
Whatever. You can get drunk at Denny's, whatever.
Either way, it was
Get
fantastic.
drunk anywhere. I wish I brought my flask to the zoo today. If it wasn't this damn driving that got in my way, I'd probably be in an alcoholic haze most of my life. One more blessed reason for a motorhome. It's got a beer fridge in tow.
Man, once this thing becomes autonomous, non-stop then.
Come on, Tesla. Make this bitch electric.
I actually wanted to... There you go. It's not a bad idea.
Right. Actually, the motor in this thing is so fantastic, I'd be hard-pressed to remove it. I've got
It
a lot
does
of
6
blown-up
miles to
motor
the
things
gallon.
around my house that I could make electric before this.
Yeah.
Well,
Was
and
that-
this goes out so rarely. I'd rather have my daily driver electric.
Yeah, we need a commuter vehicle that can do 100K.
Because I do, 150K a day?
That'd be awesome to get
Totally.
full services at something like this with 30 amp electric. We could just charge an EV and freaking cruise around.
That'd be awesome.
Right? We were looking at an EV too, but I mean, we're just not in the
So
market for
much.
a new vehicle. It's
Yeah, well, you're not saving anything because I mean, especially if you're like trying to think carbon footprint. It is unless you're ready to get rid of a vehicle and you actually need a new one.
Well, and that's just it. Like, I have
well,
a good car.
Our biggest thing is we're going to do solar at the house, so if we could couple that with an EV, now we can drive for free and eliminate $300 a month in gas bills, probably $400 pretty quick because prices just keep going up.
Yeah.
But when it comes down to it, I mean, do we really want a car payment on a $40,000 to $60,000 vehicle to replace our paid-off Honda Civic?
Yeah, totally.
I mean, it's
Tough.
it is.
Because on one hand, it sounds like such a smart idea.
We just can't afford to save
And then
that
on
kind
the
of
other
money
hand,
right
like,
Yeah.
fucking reuse is way better than any other R.
now. Yeah, it's reduce, reuse.
Reduce, reuse, recycle.
Right?
But reduce and reuse are first.
Yeah, that's a big one, because I think that's ridiculous that people don't understand a lot of what it happens. It's just like there's a perfect mold that has no carbon footprint. It's like there's your electric car, move it on. No, it takes a lot of shit to make those things in the first place.
Sure does.
Well,
Well,
and then it makes a lot of shit to make your batteries, and it makes a lot of shit to make power that's fueling it. Like, it's not free.
Well, same as the solar panels or the wind farms and stuff like that. Like, most of those things are only good to most for 20 years.
Yeah,
Until they
Nope.
need some serious service or love.
but they're
They've
still
changed-
better.
well, they've
They're
gotten
getting-
way better. Like solar
sure.
panels, the ones I'm looking at now are warranted for 30 years to be up to 80% efficient or 80% capacity within 30 years. So I mean, they've moved on to a point that they are they're quite viable. What I don't like is the mindset that we need giant solar farms and wind farms. I really believe that the future is power producing at the source. If every house had solar and a wind generator, and then let the customer purchase that and contribute back to the grid, we'd be further ahead than the government continually looking at these giant mega projects and putting, like, I'm not opposed to the solar farms and the wind farms, but I mean, when you start taking away grazing land or farmland to put up solar, are you benefiting when we can use all the wasted space in the cities and on the roofs and stuff
Yeah.
like that?
Things that are already taking up a ton of space.
Right?
So,
I mean, every farmer slaps it on their barn. It takes up no space, and then it provides free power back to that farm to use.
Yeah.
Or
Well, the
Well, and
city,
especially with the new windfall ones that are just vibrating instead of spinning.
yeah, because they take up way more space and they're way more dangerous for wildlife and stuff.
But
too,
the
right?
new vibrating ones are not dangerous at all
Well-
and take up very little room.
Yeah, well, they're basically just like a pool noodle
Kind of.
for the most part, like depending on the,
I mean-
size and scale that you have.
I mean,
yeah.
they're in the fact that they're not, but I mean, kind of.
Well, no, I've
If
seen
you
those
ignore
ones.
the fact that that's totally wrong, you are totally right.
Well, I mean, it's can be as small as about the size of a pool noodle. Basically, like they're whatever, 10 feet tall or something like that. They just wobble around in the wind. Like those things are amazing. But yeah, you could have a dozen of those in any yard, and you wouldn't even notice them a lot of the time.
But I mean, even back to your previous argument about the longevity and stuff like that, it all, I mean, petroleum is still a dirty industry, but it
Oh, yeah.
was even way worse 100 years ago.
You want me to spit worms in your mouth or what? Like, I don't know what you're asking for right there. Hugs we can do.
And worms.
Haha, Sarah loves her mommy.
I think she bit Mom.
At least I have a mommy.
At least I have a mommy. That's cold.
Damn. Should have saw that
I
coming.
mean, Connor has a mommy too.
Fair
When was the
enough.
last time you got a hug?
From her
Oh.
years ago.
Damn. Right?
She bent
Cold.
down to hug me.
She verbally hugs me every Sunday. So shut up.
Did you need another hug, Connor?
No, I'm good.
Alright, I'm going to bed.
Come
Bye,
back
Mom.
here. Oh,
You want a hug?
yes. Come back here.
Aw.
Mama's bullet.